Another man is getting comfortable with my wife, but she doesn't see the problem.
She just sees her new best friend.
My 34 male wife, 34 female, and I play pickleball with a rather advanced group.
Now, advanced in age or advanced in skill?
I'm not as good as the group. I think advanced in age. Or my wife, so oftentimes I will sit out a few days just to not impede the group's play. By the way, this comes from Snappin'Fool54, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, our group is primarily men that are all 4.0 plus players.
They're good.
Okay.
I was going to ask what that
They're
meant.
good.
And my wife plays within the group because, to be frank, the women don't like playing with her because of how aggressively she plays. Well, she needs to find cooler ladies to play with. Add on top that she is a stunning woman physically. There's some jealousy thrown in there as well. Okay.
I can't play pickleball with this hot lady.
This woman's too hot and she's too aggressive.
So hot and aggressive, I can't.
Now to the question. There is a guy in the group that we have known for a few years who very obviously has an eye for my wife. For the first year or two, there was nothing of concern from him. He was very casual, talked to both of us when the group would link up to play, etc. However, in the last year or so, he has become more comfortable, especially in my absence. About 8 months ago, my wife and him were chatting, and somehow they got on the topic of married men and women being friends with members of the opposite gender. My wife said there's nothing wrong with married people being friends with members of the opposite gender, just as long as one isn't attracted to the other. And he quickly quipped back, "Sure it is. You can be attracted to someone and still be friends." The thing is, yeah, but
Buddy comes from a long line of windows
ooh,
because that was entirely transparent.
that was really obvious, buddy. That was so obvious, and she didn't get that hint.
She should get that hint.
She should get that hint. I told my wife that's what an F-boy would say, and you know it. She agreed, but also confided that they were just friends and she's not attracted to him at all. And I honestly believe her. She literally just said you can be friends with a member of the opposite gender as long as one isn't attracted. Those were your rules. And now she's changing them because she's not attracted to him.
Sophia, rules are meant to be broken.
Apparently.
Nah, she's just like, I'm not going to interpret that as him saying he's attracted to me.
She said she agreed. She
What do you
agreed.
mean?
She OP said that's what an F-boy would say, and you know it. She agreed,
Yeah,
but said
she's
that she's
like-
not attracted to him. Fast forward a few months from that, she comes home and is like, "I need to tell you something that happened at pickleball today. I was playing with insert guy today, and while we were playing, my tank
Insert
slid.
guy.
My
Yeah,
tank.
she's trying to make him her insert guy. Whoa!
My tank slid over and my sports bra strap was showing.
What is this?
Sacre bleu! Her sports bra strap was what?
What is this? What is this? Stick it? That's the thing in
That's
Stick It
not
where they
even,
like
like,
dock points.
A real strap.
Throw her in the ocean with the rest of the car
That's
batteries.
like that. Like looks like this. That's what that.
There's
what?
people who just wear that to the gym.
Yeah. After the point, he reached up, grabbed my tank, and covered my sports bra back up.
Your husband?
No, the
This
insert
other guy?
Insert
Insert guy is
Yikes.
protecting your sacred
modesty.
womanness.
I kind of
the modesty.
I kind of froze because I didn't want to make a scene and we went about our game. That's so weird. I told her again that was not typical of a man to feel comfortable to reach up and touch another woman or fix her outfit. How would you react if you saw me reach up and fix another woman's clothing? She said, I would likely see red and we would have a talk. A few weeks ago, one of her best friends she met in law school was leaving and the group had a lunch to celebrate her friend leaving and another member of the group leaving for school. I was unable to go due to prior obligations. When seats were being acquired, my wife picked her seat and went to go to the bathroom and grab a drink. Her friend was still at the table and people were moving around. One of the other guys goes, well, we should have put insert guy next to OP's wife. We all know he has a crush on her. But the friend quickly got up to go tell my wife what was going on. Good friend. She, of course, told me what happened, and I told her, I mean, we knew this. Everything to this point has pointed to this. This is a good point. Yesterday, she was at pickleball and she had shared a screenshot of a post her employer made as a new employee spotlight, and there was a pickleball comment in it. It also happened to have her headshot on the post as well. Well, at some point during the session, he told her, "You looked beautiful in that picture." She just smiled and said thank you and went about her day. Again, bringing it to my attention when she got home, and we talked about how we know that he is attracted to her. Any of these as one-offs, whatever. But these are series of events that are the bigger items. He also will show up to random open plays that he sees my wife signed up for. He was shocked to see me at an open play with her one day and was taken aback when I went to shake his hand. So much so that my wife said, "What? Did you see a ghost?" He has commented multiple times on her perfumes, asked her why her outfit style has changed from tennis skirts to leggings, etc. This man is super creepy. I feel like she's also, I mean, I don't know. I might be reading into what we have so far, but it feels like she's kind of uncomfortable with everything that he's doing too, if she's telling OP all of this.
Yeah. No, that's 100%.
Like,
exactly what the
that would
case
make
is.
me incredibly uncomfortable with my
Yeah.
friends, and then this guy was like touching my
Just trying to think of
shirt and
what to do. Like, I think I would just like make like nonsense noises and like yell at him from now on.
At pickleball?
Whenever he tries to, like, well,
You just
first
go,
of all,
"Ugh,
I would have
eh,
after bringing this
eh,
one more time.
eh."
Yeah,
It really hits
Yeah.
the nose.
that's she's an animal out on the courts, people.
Dang, what was I saying?
You want to go play
Oh
pickleball?
yeah, no. So I think first, clearly, yeah, you're right. You're bringing this up to your partner. It's like it's clearly an issue. It's like you need to tell that guy like, hey, leave me alone like
Yeah.
that. I have a husband. Like I don't like the way that you're advancing
Yeah.
upon me.
Amy Lynn
Stop.
says, to be a little fair to her, I struggle with being super direct with certain men out of fear of their response, especially when they come on strong. I absolutely,
Totally fair.
yeah. I
But,
mean, I've been
you
in
know,
a lot of cases
public
where men
place.
have been very touchy and I don't call them out directly. I just kind of try to avoid them.
Do it in that group at pickleball.
Yeah. Just have your husband flirt with him and make it challengers too.
Yeah.
No, don't make a challengers too.
Not with this guy.
Not with
This guy's
guy.
weird. Don't
Yeah.
make it challengers too with insert guy.
Like I swear,
Out
like,
weird him.
just make this guy not like you because
Yeah.
like next time he's like, you look so beautiful today, just go like
Well, I think she wants to seem a little bit normal in front of her other friends.
no, but then your other friends will be like, hey, are you okay? You'll be like, yeah, no, I'm just taking care of that guy.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Yeah, no,
Don't
I'm just
worry
getting
about it.
weird Steve off the court. You know what I mean?
Out weird him.
Yeah. This morning, after thinking about it, I told her that I felt like he was crossing some lines that I am not comfortable with. And this is starting to become concerning for me. Not because I don't trust her, but because as a married man who never brings his wife to play or really talk about it, he's comfortable moving around and acting like this. Oh, he's married.
Oh, he's
married
too?
Wait,
Oh,
wait.
oh.
When they went out together and all of his friends were like, we know you have a crush on her.
Oh no,
He was married?
What is wrong? Who are these? What is this friend
Oh
group?
my God.
It's pickleball group.
I couldn't stop laughing because I thought of a way to make him stop talking to you forever. You go up to him really excitedly and you say, I had a dream last night. I ate 72 pounds of Parmesan cheese and I gave birth to a cheese baby. I think that's supposed to be our child.
But sometimes they like the weird stuff.
Yeah, and then if he likes that, you need to go, all right, actually, I hate you. I think you're disgusting.
Actually,
Okay,
walk
if-
it back.
If
You
that
suck.
doesn't work, if that actually makes him go, I think I'm
Yeah.
in love, then you go,
Yeah.
okay, sorry. I
Yeah.
hate you.
One time I told a guy that he reminded me of my brother, and he was like, no, I don't. I'm nothing like your brother. I was like, okay.
Immediately, no, I'm not.
Yeah. And then he tried to match with me when I was, at the time I was using Hinge, and he tried to
was like,
match with me twice.
What's up? Not your brother here.
It was weird. Her response was, I just think that he's known us for 3 years. If he was planning to try anything, I just feel like he would have tried by now. 3 years is quite a slow burn, even if he wanted to be that calculated.
Man's playing the long game.
Dude, he
There's
has
no
tried by
way.
now.
There's no way she's actually unaware of this.
I'm confused because he literally has.
That's crazy.
He's already been making moves. To me, he has been trying. He's getting more comfortable, but she seems to think otherwise.
To her, he's also been trying.
Yes.
Why are we not being honest
she
about that?
agreed. But the thing is, like, she already agreed with OP about
I
this.
think she just doesn't want to do the
Yeah.
political, the social politic
Yeah.
mumbo jumbo.
What are your guys' thoughts? And there is an update, folks. But what does OP do?
Well, I think first you need to be like, you stop walking on eggshells around this guy if you really don't like the way he, you know, talks to you.
Just be like, hey, this is my wife. It's my wife.
Yeah, or like your wife should be like, yeah, I'm married.
Yeah, this is my husband. So when you talk
to me like that weird, you're kind of tiptoeing the line of like, are you being friendly or are you being flirty? Yeah. Just stop doing that.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah.
And then if he doesn't stop it, you go, hey, remember that thing we talked about? Literally never talk to me again now. I gave you an in. I said you can just talk to me like a friend, but you can't do that. So now you're done.
Dunzo.
Talk to me again. I'm going to scream in Pig Latin.
Cha tu. Oh wait, that's not Pig Latin.
What was that?
I just said it backwards.
Did you say cha tu?
Watch out.
Cha tu.
But that would be watch a. What is it? How's
Eamscray? I think would be
that's
scream.
Yeah.
Eamscray.
I messed up. Wife and I talked about the situation on Friday, voiced my concerns and how his actions, while small, are certainly calculated, and the moves of someone that's waiting in the wings for us to have a run of crap days, which would allow him to be there in her eyes. But also, not that I'm worried about her per se, but him if he decides he's not happy with rejection when he decides to be bold. She agreed that she can see where I'm coming from and how his actions are small enough to try and stay close. She also said that the only one that she felt weird about was when he fixed her shirt unprovoked. Again, she told me how she was uncomfortable causing a scene in the moment. She also said that she's going to be more bold with him when things come up in the future, since keeping the peace while being cold-shouldered hasn't really done anything. Okay, well, I think that is relevant information, that she's been trying to kind of keep distance, but also because they have mutual friends who they're all playing together with. Yeah, she's trying to kind of manage, which is tricky. Like,
dude, when you find a good pickleball group,
all of the ladies are jealous of her. She found the people she can be aggressive with.
These are just the people who need to be playing.
I think you just need to hit him with the ball.
That is a good technique.
You go super hard and you just keep pelting him with the pickleball.
That is essentially a high level pickleball tactic.
They had another guy join the group a few weeks ago, and he was even more bold, and she took care of it like a champ. The guy.
I'll be the guy. Who's playing this music?
I ain't got a problem.
Yeah, it's just not a good playlist.
Okay, well, F you.
Oh, well, let's go if you wanna. What?
You wouldn't be able to F me in your dreams, dude.
That's flirty.
Am I crazy?
That's insane flirty.
That was so flirty.
Well, it depends on the tone, but also, that's flirty.
He
said that's a bad playlist, and then he said, you want to go? And she goes, you'll never F me even in your dreams?
This sounds like a Corn parody. I'm sorry.
None of that makes any sense.
That was weird.
That's very Corn-esque.
That was really weird.
That doesn't... Does that even make sense?
No.
That didn't make any sense.
It's a heat of the moment. Nothing makes sense.
I think because she was like, F you, and he was like, oh, okay, if you want. And she was like, you wouldn't be able to handle me.
So he was like,
yeah. I think that's what they're implying,
okay.
but I don't know. I don't know about that one.
That's not really champion behavior.
No.
Right there.
Guy has been ostracized from the group after the way he's acted. Also, we stay in this group because 90% of the group is a good group. There is a core of 3 to 4 guys that have their own group chat that are the weirdos. One is openly cheated on his wife. Why are we hanging out with this guy? The other is the guy from above, and 1 or 2 others. The other 15 to 16 folks are great people that know my wife and I very well. In the end, there's just a few bad apples in the group. Why are we hanging out with bad apples? And there are comments.
What's up with the squad of dudes who cheat on their wives?
I know, like, I'm
sorry. What is that?
If I was in
Challengers!
The cheat on your wife group chat.
If I was in a group of like 10, like I have a group of 10 friends. I actually have a group of 15 friends.
We get it.
Cool.
I've got a lot. No.
Wow.
If I knew that 4 of those 15 people were openly making, some of the people in the group uncomfortable, cheating on their partners, just overall kind of suck, I'd be like, let's get them out of the group. Let's not invite them to pickleball.
Effect.
The butterfly effect?
Butterfly effect.
How so?
Butterfly effect. You kick those people out of the group,
They start
within,
World War
within
III.
7 months' time, the entire group is dissolved, and a third global conflict has erupted.
Dude, wow. You're
And
right.
None of that would have happened if you would have
If you just
kept a couple
dealt
bad
with it.
apples in the. I mean, that's not even. Look, 4 bad apples in a group of 16. That's essentially a 25% apple being bad rate.
Well, she said 90%, which bad, or he said 90%.
But that's
Bad
not
math.
true because
That's
3 or
false.
4 out of 16. That's 25%.
Also, you can't say like 3 to 4 guys. It's either 3 or 4.
Yeah, is one of them not bad? Is it
Yeah.
only 3 guys?
It's
He's
either
sometimes
3 or
good,
4.
sometimes bad. He's in.
That's a big difference.
You have to tell
3
me.
bad apples instead of 4 bad apples. That's not 25% bad
No.
apples.
Exactly.
It's like less than 20.
That's crazy. Comments. Comment 1. But your group openly joked about this guy having a crush on your wife. The married guy.
Yeah, no, right.
He wasn't ostracized for his creeper BS. He's still around with the group's blessing to keep being a creep with a crush on your wife. And your wife still isn't shutting him down. She didn't think twice about shutting the other guy down. But was that really a shutdown? Comment 2. Sounds like a rather toxic group of people, to be honest. Yeah, pickleball gets so toxic.
I mean, like,
Actually, I've only played
It's-
pickleball once, and it was at VidCon last year with Sam.
yeah, it's all about the.
Oh,
it's all about
Coda.
the love of the game.
Code, are you ready?
If there's pickleball at VidCon,
Well-
that's all I'm doing the whole time.
To be clear, it was like on a rooftop, and there was no one else there. It was just me and Sam playing pickleball, and then Riley was playing basketball.
I would play pickleball.
And it was so hot. It was like 95 degrees, direct sun. Okay, anyway. Comment 2. Sounds like a rather toxic group of people, to be honest. This plus the teenage high school crap with arranging so the guy and your wife sit next to each other and openly joking about it. I'd be looking for a new club or park to play in. Update 2. So it's been about a month since this was posted.
Oh,
and
wait
some
a minute.
things have
Wait, I'm
transpired.
sorry.
What?
I wanted to say,
What did you want to say?
should we not be telling the wives of these people
Yes, we should be
that
telling
they've
the
been
wives of
cheated
these
on?
people. Absolutely.
If it's like literally
If you
open
have met-
secret group lore.
If you've met the wives at least one time and you know they're actively cheating on them, after I made this post, I sat down with my wife and we had a very conducive conversation. After talking to me and her best friend, as well as sourcing out to ChatGPT, she agreed that he was in fact being forward and was physically and likely emotionally interested in her. She agreed to start being more dismissive and firm with his comments, actions, etc., in hopes of sending a message while also keeping the peace within the group. You've ever seen a lead balloon fly?
Yes.
That's about how this situation went. Over the course of the next few weeks, she did exactly what she said she was going to do. He would make a comment, and then she would be a little more crass and dry in her response. Well, I believe he got the message, but to him, that message was, oh, she's playing harder to get. First incident. They listen to music when they play pickleball on the outdoor courts. The song Me and Mrs. Jones by Billy Paul came on, song about adultery. As the song ended, several games ended as well. As they were sorting out partners, the problem guy says, come on, Mrs. Insert wife's name. He nor anyone in the group has ever called her by her last name. It has always been a first name basis. She said, not sure what made you call me over like that, but that's reserved for business meetings and the hours between 9 and 5. He kind of tucked his tail and went about his day.
Like, okay, we're fully ignoring this man's every word and his presence. Like,
Dude, I'm just like not even talking to him.
Non-existence.
I'm not even talking to him.
Hmm?
Bye.
Like, who said that? Did anyone hear anything?
Yeah.
I didn't hear anything.
Didn't hear a single
Weird.
thing.
I thought I almost heard something.
Must have been the wind or a pickleball. Second incident. On a different day, as they were leaving, the entire group was walking out to the parking lot. He told her to hold on. I have something to give you. She waits. Why? No.
Yeah,
but
you
more
just say,
so,
I don't want that.
Yeah, sorry, I
keep it.
can't. I'm busy.
Give it to someone else.
But more so because she was talking with one of the group members about work, same profession. He comes back and hands her cologne. I know you like your perfumes and cologne. I got this in a sample box and figured you might like it. It was obviously used because it was half empty.
Did this cornball really just give her like half of cologne that he uses
So weird.
as like a,
Well, dude-
now she'll have scent memory of me.
Well, also if she, if maybe his stupid plan is that she wears it and then OP is like, are you hanging out with another man? You smell like someone else. And then he's like, you smell like that guy at the court. Maybe that's his dastardly plan.
Like, I just want everyone to know, like, you can tell people to, like, get out of your face and, like, leave you alone. And, like, you can be mean. You know, like if in a situation that warrants it, like this guy who's like harassing you and just won't leave you alone.
I
you
will
can-
say
you can do that.
I don't think she's the a-hole for like these responses, because I do understand being very uncomfortable and having a person who's like kind of in the group and you don't really know how to respond to that. However, I would encourage her to go to the other people in that group and saying, this person is making me very uncomfortable. And if they don't do anything, then you know that you don't want to hang out with those people.
You know, I don't know about that.
You don't know about...
Well, I don't know if it's the entire, and again, this goes into why this is like, why people will just put up with this, because then it goes into like the group politics and stuff and like all of that social BS. But like, I don't think it's the job of everyone else in the group to like wrangle in this one guy's behavior. Like,
I think you can tell people that this
one
person's
guy,
making
I mean, no, you can tell people like, hey, has anyone else had an issue with this guy?
Yeah.
But like, the whole group shouldn't be like, hey, guy, like, you need to change it. I mean,
more so instead of them
you-
confronting, let's not invite him, you know? Like, I feel like that's more of the solution.
Yeah, I think, well, yeah, because that's,
yeah.
just putting it out there like, hey, if anyone else doesn't like this guy, I certainly don't.
Yeah.
But I think definitely, because this guy's problem is if he just stopped behaving like this with her,
Yeah.
there would be no issue. But he keeps acting like he's like,
Which is why I
he
think
keeps being a flirty man.
if she feels like she can't directly confront him, then I think like getting other people in the group on her side
No.
would be easier. She simply replied, thanks, not my speed, but I'll see if my husband, use my name, likes it for himself. She said his body language shifted noticeably, and he then said,
I also have this. You should try it.
and he handed her a foreign bottled beverage. She again said, oh, thanks, I'll be sure to try it with my husband, use my name. Again, a noticeable change in body language. He then responds, I think maybe I've gotten too comfortable as a husband. To which my wife responded, I mean, do you need to speak it into existence or what? He simply said, maybe I need to reassess my actions.
This man is
What's
going
going
through
on?
plan A, B, C, D, anything. He's like, that
What's
didn't work.
going on?
That didn't work.
My wife simply responded, if you feel that way, you probably need to trust your gut. Did he just have like a aha moment? What just happened?
I'm so confused.
Was that really him being like, wait, what are my values?
He's like, wait a minute.
hold on.
You keep mentioning your husband. Maybe I should think about my wife.
Oh, crap, I'm one of those. Oh, you're not my wife. I've just been confused this whole time.
This whole time I thought you were my wife.
Oh my
Amy Lynn says
God.
he's legit spiraling.
Oh, no.
It's like, wait a minute. She's been rejecting all of my advances. Maybe I should direct some of that to my wife. Final incident. Tuesday, my wife gets home from playing and is acting weird. I ask her what's wrong and she says nothing. Are we going to really play this game? What did he try today? Well, he wasn't there. He called me in the middle of my workday at like 9:30 this morning.
That is not the middle of your workday.
Yeah, that's like the start. Unless she works at 5.
She doesn't.
You don't know that.
I do.
How do you know that? Do you stalk her?
Because we've already done this. 90%. Nuh-uh.
What?
90%. That we already had the... Anyway, I don't want to get into
okay.
it. It's fine.
I don't want to get into how I know her work schedule. Me. Oh? Her. Yeah, at first he was just talking about how he's having marriage problems and things aren't well at home. Then how one of his buddies in the group called him and asked him why he seems so attached to me at pickleball and is always following me around like a puppy as a married man. Then out of nowhere, he blurts out, I just need to say that I'm not a cheater. And I just told him, I'm not sure where all this is coming from or what this is all about, but this is incredibly inappropriate. I'm happily married and have zero emotional and physical attraction to you. I value the friendship that we have had, but that's all we ever were/are. She said the total conversation was around 20 minutes that consisted of him sounding overall confused and conflicted.
See, now, that was not the right response to me. Being like, blah, 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 but I still value your friend. You should be like, hey, so I'm just going to say, you need
I
to
don't even
leave
want you to
me
be your friend.
alone.
Yeah.
Don't call me with these thoughts.
Don't call me.
Don't text me with
Don't come
these
by my
kinds of
house.
ideas. You're clearly going through something, and you should work it out with a professional.
We're not friends.
Don't talk to me about this kind of stuff ever.
Again.
I told her that he was essentially wanting her to bare her heart as well and validate the emotions he was having so that he didn't feel guilty for having the feelings and emotions that he was having for her. She is still playing with the group because he's only one of like 25 to 30 people within the group. The numbers have changed. It was 16 before.
Well, pickleball is the fastest growing sport.
What is this? However, she plans to create more distance between them during days they are both at the courts.
Why are we at? Why is the energy that this is like impossible?
And-
Like you can just go to a place that this guy's at and literally look right
Ignore him.
through him.
Yeah.
Like he's made out of glass.
Yeah.
We don't have to entertain a single thing he says.
We can literally just ignore him.
And if people in the group start going, "Hey, what's up with OP and the problem guy? Like they seem to be having problems," then you can go, "Yeah, we're having problems because he keeps flirting with me, even though we're both married."
She's also of the same mind that if he tries anything else or falls back into old habits, that it will be time for me to step in and more or less assert my opinion on the matter with him. There is a third update.
I hope they're playing a new sport.
Yeah.
I hope they're just playing like
Bocce ball.
water polo.
Well,
No,
okay,
playing
I do
bocce
want to
ball.
say I understand that, maybe it would be more effective if she was more aggressive about it, and said certain things. But I do also understand the frustration of wanting to just play a game, and you have this weird, creepy man who won't stop flirting with you, and you try and give him hints in a nice way, doesn't work. So you try and be more direct, doesn't work,
Here's my
and he still keeps coming.
my perspective on that is like it's like a debt, and like you can either like pay it in like little chunks, like you have a discomfort or an uncomfortable debt to pay because this guy is annoying you and is like flirting with you, and at some point it's gonna get uncomfortable because there's gonna be a confrontation. You can either like parse that out over a long period of time, like has been going on, which is kind of over and over and over again, or you can just do that lump sum. Leave me alone, weirdo! Why are you talking to me like that?
I do think
And
that's
then
you,
it's
though.
over.
Yeah.
That's not. I mean, I don't know if I would do either. It's like it's all contextual.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like,
I think it's pretty
whenever you
hard to
approach
do that, though.
discomfort, it's like you have those two different ways of going about it.
I definitely think it would be effective, but I do think it's hard to do.
I think people just think it's harder than it really is.
I would,
Like you can
I would
really
have,
just like this guy keeps flirting with you. You just walk up, hey, literally, you flirt with me like that one more time.
And I'm done speaking to you.
I think that's hard to do for people, though.
But it's just hard until you say it,
Yeah, absolutely.
and then it's like, oh, it's done.
but I
Now
think
it's
a
over.
lot of things that people think are hard to do are maybe easier once you actually
It's
do
like
them.
everyone thinks riding a bike is hard before they've done it.
Exactly. But it's still hard. It feels hard to do,
Yeah, but you can still do it.
You just have fundamentally different mindset.
Sometimes you need to confront something
I
instead
agree.
of just
I
like
agree.
letting
I'm
it
just-
linger and
I'm just
trail
saying I
out.
think it's
Like,
hard to do for some people who have trouble with confrontation.
yeah,
But there is a third update.
just because things are hard doesn't mean we shouldn't do them.
I agree. Update 3. This has been roughly a 2.5 to 3 month ordeal. So I had a huge talk with my wife over the weekend. We talked last week about how this was affecting her mentally. A lot of these emotions stem from the mess that her and I went through due to my RJ and the judgment that I was placing on her due to that. Did he explain what RJ is?
Due to my RJ,
Due to my RJ.
my renal juices.
Ew. And the judgment that I was placing on her due to that and some meds my psych put me on that amplified a lot of the emotion, which in her words inevitably caused her to put walls up around me because she didn't feel like at the moment that she could be open and real with me because I really wasn't me during that time. Fast forward to this weekend, she basically was like, I was having a very hard time navigating this for a few reasons. I hate that what started as a very solid friendship was spoiled by his feelings. He really was a close friend that shared a lot of my pains as a child, so I felt seen in a different way than I have ever been seen, which ultimately turned into being seen as more than a friend, and I didn't realize it because I was being naive about the situation because of what we had going on at home between us. I didn't want it to be true as much as you were telling me it was. However, some of what you said really stuck with me and kind of made me open my eyes to the situation. When you said, so when you told him that males and females can be friends as long as one isn't attracted to the other, why is it suddenly okay now? When you said that, it kind of slapped me in the face and told me to wake up because you were right. I set a boundary and I allowed him to test it and prove that it wasn't true. Then you also said that this has gotten out of hand. It's like he's sitting on the couch every night when you get home because you're so worried about losing his friendship. It prevents us from mending our relationship. His friendship is taking priority over our marriage. You are trying to patch two holes on a sinking ship, but you're patching the one that ultimately is above water in comparison to the other one that is actually sinking the ship. It was at that moment that I realized what I was doing and where this was sending us. With all of that said, the way that you handled all of this without getting mad, without judging me for my emotions surrounding this, just handling it in the way you did brought down the walls I had put up over the last few months. It more or less signaled to me that you were back and that I was safe to be open and honest with you with this and there wasn't going to be some kind of judgment on the back end of this. And that was all from OP's wife. That's like, I think that's a very, very reasonable and well thought out answer. It feels like she has kind of sat with her feelings and emotion, and I think taken up.
Well, there was some context there. We had clearly like we shared childhood traumas and like confided in each other. Like, okay, so like it wasn't just like some creepy guy who got like a crush on you.
This was
like,
a friend,
right,
who got a crush on her, and then she was trying. So I think that does explain why it was like a friend that she cared for and, you know, valued, who got this crush on her, and she was trying to save the friendship. Which
I think should make it even easier to be direct about it. Because you just go to this guy, you'd be like, dude, you're talking to me like I'm your wife. Do you realize that?
Like,
what are we doing here?
Stop it.
Why are you acting? You've got one. It's
You
not
already got
me.
one of those.
So what are we doing?
Opie says, we of course talked more, but that was the gist of it. By the way, this is that you can listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. There is a little bit left to this story, but do you have any final thoughts? Because it feels like
I don't know, get in front of stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like if you just get in front of stuff, it's a lot easier to deal.
I also appreciate that OP didn't, I mean, she said it too, but he didn't like to approach this conversation with like accusing her of anything. It was really just saying, hey, I don't know what you're feeling about this. This is how I see the situation, and this is how it's making me feel. And like, if you could address this, that would be great. And even when it like was going on for a minute, it was never like, hey, you're doing something, you're cheating on me. It was like, hey, please address it.
Yeah.
I think that really helped her not feel so defensive, because I think a lot of times we have stories where a partner gets defensive.
Mm-hmm. There's, oh my God.
What do I do?
Squeeze.
No.
Squeeze harder.
No.
Caught a moth in her hand.
What do I do?
You squeeze it.
No. I don't want to have moth guts. Can I open a door?
Moth guts.
Can someone open a door?
Just let it go. He caught it.
Ah!
Kill it.
It's gone. It's not dead. Anyway, let's finish the story off. I ultimately feel like we have navigated this challenge to our relationship at this point. Time will tell, of course, but over the last few days/week, we have felt normalcy settling back into our relationship. No advice needed, but always welcomed if anyone has navigated this type of situation before. Comment 1, it seems like there are a lot of missing details. In your first post, the situation is being framed as a friend pushing boundaries, and it being a very one-sided issue with your wife not shutting it down firmly. However, in this post, you're describing an emotional affair, or at the very least, the beginning of one. What? I did not get that from this post.
They're just saying that because it was like
the trauma thing.
We confided in each other.
Yeah. Oh, can't
Gross,
confide
dude.
in your friends.
You can
No.
confide in multiple people.
There's a classic cheater blame shifting going on. You were emotionally unavailable, and that's why she didn't shut it down. Wow, really reading into nothing there. I also am not really seeing a resolution to the primary issue here. You confronted her again. She blamed you, but finally acknowledged, yeah, this looks fishy. But you don't say whether anything has or will be done about the friend. Does she agree to stop playing with him or the group? We already know that she's gonna keep playing with the group. Oh, she said she'll shut it down now? We already know that she said that. Or are you two just gonna rug sweep this and hope it goes away? Did he even read the last update? This guy did not read that last update. OP downvoted 19 times. To be fair, there are some missing details. Back in January, after 8 years of marriage, 17 together, it came out that she was not honest about the number of spicy related partners she had prior to us getting together. Nothing exponential, but more than disclosed, and chose not to disclose them because they were ONS?
One night stands.
Oh.
Wow. I got that one.
One night stanzas.
Well, then there weren't really
But
partners.
that was definitely a guy that she had done something with, huh?
Thus sent me into someone said it was something jealousy?
Retroactive jealousy?
Retroactive jealousy? No, it was down, I think, more.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I think it was down more.
Reactive jealousy?
Something jealousy.
Where it's just like, girl,
I don't know.
I'm thinking
Maybe
that
I
you've
lost it.
been with more than one person. I'm jealous.
Retroactive jealousy.
Retroactive jealousy, which ultimately landed me in therapy, trying to sort out my issues that I was facing with holding. This was 100% the beginning of an emotional affair, and that's part of the dirty details that we have discussed that I don't outline in this. The resolution is that she's 100% on board to shut down / out anything he says or tries. I'm not going to force her to stop playing with that group as long as we can keep this intact. She's also going to start to navigate away from the areas he's at on the court when they are playing at the same time. Having her stop playing with the group means she has to stop playing at the most active court in our area. It was discussed, but ultimately isn't the most conducive option. I have one thought about the one night stand thing. That's not, unless he said like, what's your body count? That's not like partners. Like, I feel like that's a different question.
Could be semantics.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I feel like if you're saying like, oh, how many partners have you had? You wouldn't say like how many people that you've been on like 2 dates with.
Sorry, you just reminded me of that. Have you seen the movie Phenomenon with
No.
John Travolta?
No.
You just, I can't really explain it. I'm not gonna spoil whatever. I should shut up.
But yeah, I feel like I'm just wondering if she actually lied or if he just found out that she had hooked up with more people than he thought. You know, that's what I'm wondering.
This is why you should never play pickleball.
That's the moral of the story.
Pickleball is gonna ruin your marriage and everyone's marriage
and then
who ever played pickleball.
My other thought is
Ruined.
now he's confirming that it was an emotional.
Well, I don't understand. Like,
It was an emotional.
I
affair.
was raising a little bit of an eyebrow at the end where it's like she's being like, well, now I feel like you're back, and it's like, well, where did he go?
Yeah, where did you
Like,
go?
Did he left?
There was a lot. Yeah,
that does make me go like, well, that does sound like she's trying to make like now there's an excuse for something, which why would we need an excuse because you didn't do anything? It was that other guy.
Yeah, I guess
unless
maybe
you were just entertaining it the whole time.
Maybe because she said that she was like talking about trauma with this guy.
Look, I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't even care about like anything in the story other than like if I'm OP, I'm like, is my wife comfortable playing pickleball?
Yeah.
And it's like if this guy makes you uncomfortable,
Let's deal with
make it known. Make a problem. Be problematic. And I got a lot of comments being like, women can't confront men because it's, scary,
Well, it can be dangerous.
potentially physical. And it's like, fair. In a group, go pickleball. There's 50
in a
people
pickleball
around.
group. Well, I think it's like the after, scared that they might come after.
Self-defense items.
It's true.
Number 1, words.
Words.
Yes.
Why isn't this working?
The pen is mightier.
Then the sword.
But folks, that's the end
I
of
have a
that
giant
story. And we've got another one. I ordered my wife to clean the house after I came home from deployment.
Sir, can you ask and say please?
I, 30 male, just came back from a nearly 6-month deployment. I've been married to my wife, 29 female, for 2 years. This is the longest deployment I've had since we lived together. No kids, but we do have a few pets. I bought the house we live in before we got married, and before I left, it was clean and in great condition. By the way, this comes from Express Ratio 922, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, when I walked through the door, it was like stepping into one of those hoarder show houses. I wish I was kidding. This is not an exaggeration. In fact, it's probably not descriptive enough. The master bathroom had black mold on the walls. Ugh! The sink and shower were caked with soap scum, hair everywhere, trash covering the floors. We're talking used tissues, used pads, makeup packaging, all just strewn around. The toilet, I won't even describe the toilet. The bedroom had waist-high piles of clothes, papers, and God knows what lining 2 walls. And God knows what lining 2 walls. The carpet was completely covered in pet hair. I saw little moths flying around that looked like the kind that eat fabric and hair. The living room wasn't dirty as much as it was piled with clutter. Unopened shopping bags, decorations from last Halloween and Christmas still out, tons of random stuff she clearly bought but never put away. And the kitchen, the smell hit me before I even walked in. Both sinks were full of dirty dishes with some kind of black sludge coating the bottom. The fridge was packed, but mostly with expired and rotting food. This is my nightmare. There were 2 casserole dishes filled with what I can only describe as pure mold. Based on what I found, the food in those dishes had been sitting there since before I left in January. I completely lost it. I yelled a lot. I called her names because honestly, what kind of person lets things get this bad? It felt like coming home to a house abandoned by squatters. I told her she had 1 week to clean the entire house and return it to the condition it was in before I deployed, or I'd be filing for divorce. Then I left. I'm staying with a friend. This guy is not easy to live with. He's loud, way too talkative, and messy in his own way, but even his place is paradise compared to what I walked into. My wife cried and begged me to stay. She said I was being unfair and that I just left her here to deal with everything. But I don't understand. What is everything? We have no kids. She works a normal job and comes home. That's it. No night shifts, no 80-hour weeks, no caretaking responsibilities. What else was there for her to deal with? What could possibly be taking up so much of her time and energy that basic tasks like throwing away used tissues, washing dishes, or taking out the trash couldn't be done? She told me I needed to help her because it was our mess, but I've been gone for over 5 months. She claims that I didn't understand how hard it was for her while I was gone. I didn't make any of that mess. I've been deployed and working my butt off, and the house I paid for was trashed while I was away. Is there something I really don't understand here? And there are comments, but
I mean, yeah.
yeah.
But then also, like, there's just the fact that you're like, this is unacceptable, and I cannot
Yeah.
be in this situation, which is, you know, you can make that call as
Absolutely.
an individual, but like, it's not like your wife threw like a 5-month-long frat party and
Yeah.
that's why the house is all messed up. It's
No.
like,
This is like she's experiencing some sort of mental health crisis. And I think that you need to get curious on what is going on with her just in general before we,
Yeah.
because, you know, before we go to the divorce route, just like ask some questions.
so yeah, there was
Take her to a
literally
doctor.
no like, are you okay?
No.
It was just, what's wrong with you?
Truly, like my first thought if I entered that house would be like, oh my God, what happened to you? Are you okay?
I gotta say, my first thought would probably be getting out of the house.
Yeah, that would be my first thought, actually, if I'm being
Be like,
honest.
can
But
you
then
come
my
out to the
second
front lawn
thought
so we can
would be,
talk?
are you okay? What happened to you? Comments. Horror Fruit 1942. You're not the a-hole, though it does sound like your wife is in need of professional help. Hoarding and what you are describing could be severe depression or other mental health manifestations. Whilst you have no kids, loneliness and the reality of that may also be contributing. This doesn't sound like a simple clean the house issue. She needs therapy, and maybe you both need to talk and listen without initial judgment about how it got to that state. You're married after all. This really seems the worse in better or for worse. She's unwilling to talk or get help, then yeah, divorce, but maybe there's a few steps before that. Skavnak says, yeah, looks like depression. Judgment, not the a-hole. And there is an update, so let's get into it. Just thought I'd post an update because I got responses saying she's depressed on my original post. I hear you. 1,000 people saying it. You don't need to say it anymore. I went over to her house this morning and started cleaning while my wife was at work. It really doesn't look like she'd done much, even though she told me she'd been cleaning. I'd really like to know what she cleaned because I don't see any difference between when I first got home to this morning. I cleaned the bathroom, threw most of the garbage all over the place away, but tried to be nice and keep what actually looked like untainted makeup and bath products. I sprayed the entire room with bleach, the walls, the shower, the toilet, the floor. The bleach pretty much ate all of the mold away on its own, but I scrubbed it all too. It took me maybe 15 minutes to rinse everything in the sink and load the dishwasher. That's what unalives me. It took 15 minutes, even with as bad as it was. Why couldn't she have done that? It took longer to scrub the sink itself, and now scratched up from all the utensils and metal baking sheets and things. Plus, there are permanent stains. I almost vomited from the smell. I saved absolutely nothing from the fridge. I filled 2 large trash bags up with contents, containers and all. I don't think anything was safe in there, and it wasn't worth taking the chance. There's still a lot more to do, but I took care of the most disgusting parts. Amy Dean says she was too paralyzed to clean, overwhelmed by the clutter. Exactly what I'm thinking of. It's like when you are in that state, like mental health wise, you see this just terrible monstrosity and you're like, I don't even know where to start. So I'm not even going to do anything because I just don't. It's too much.
Yeah, have you ever watched Hoarders?
I've seen.
I feel like you probably haven't because it's your nightmare.
No. I've seen like clips on TikTok.
I mean, psychologically, it's like, you know, it's crazy. It's like, if it were as easy as just being like, well, don't you want to clean this up? And them just being like, yeah, like, they wouldn't ever be a problem.
Yeah.
But it's like so nonsensical in their own heads.
Yeah.
It's like that keeps them from, you know, from not being able to pick up after the stuff or clean it. It's like.
She came home and didn't expect me to be there. She came home with a shopping bag. She had gone shopping despite the hoard of stuff inside the house. I told her I cleaned up the bathroom and the kitchen and that we're going to work together all weekend to clean the rest of it. She hugged me and seemed all thankful, and I told her it's not that simple. I'm still pissed off, and I still don't understand how this happened. She said she didn't understand how it happened either. She just got overwhelmed. She was mad that I threw some of the stuff in the fridge away. She wanted to save the casserole dishes. One was her grandma's. Well, I never want to eat out of that dish again. She went and saved it from the trash. I told her I threw more stuff away and tried to save what seems salvageable in the bathroom. I also let her know that if she doesn't help me clean this weekend, then I'm going to be throwing all of the stuff she's accumulated in the living room away, too. She said she's going to help. I'll obviously have to tell her exactly what tasks to do, and I shouldn't have to do that. I've accepted that I'll have to do it to get the place clean this weekend. Long term, that's not what I signed up for when I married her. Am I going to have to get a chore chart like she's a little kid? I told her maybe we need to get a cleaning service to come in. I don't feel we should need people to come in and clean our house for us. And I would prefer to spend my money on other things, but I still offered to do it for her sake. She was adamantly against it and doesn't want any cleaners coming into her space. She says it feels too weird to have somebody come in and clean. I asked her what was wrong. Maybe she needs therapy or to get professional help. She said she knows she should probably go get help, but she's not ready to do that, and she can stay on top of things if we just get it back to a clean state. She said she's fine, and she just got overwhelmed with work and felt so tired, and it was easy to let things go when she was the only one here. She says now that I'm back, it won't happen. I'll believe it when I see it, and there are some comments to finish this story off, but I don't want to say she's lying to you. I don't think that she thinks she's lying to you, but I think that she doesn't quite understand or is unwilling to, reckon with what's going on with her.
Right. It's like somebody has cancer and they're like,
Yeah.
I'll just get chemo if it gets worse. It's like, well, you
But
got to
then you're too
address
late.
the root of the problem because
Yeah.
that came from somewhere.
Yeah.
The house getting destroyed in 6 months
Yeah.
came from something.
Mm-hmm. Like you
and
haven't
you should at
solved
least
it
be
by
aware
cleaning
of it.
Yeah.
Like,
And you haven't solved
you know.
anything by cleaning the house. That stuff is still there in you. You've just cleaned the house. But there are some comments. Spacer Cat says, your wife is a hoarder. This is a mental illness. She needs professional help. 70 Pyrex baking dishes is not a collection. It's a regular use and obsession. She needs professional help, whether you stay with her or not. No inspection says, yep, this is bigger than depression. Something has flipped the switch. She's in hoarder territory. Spinner of Yarn says, her coming home with bags of things when the house was this nasty really does make it sound like she needs therapy, because this really does sound like hoarding. Opie says she argued that it was just a few little things, and they were little things, but still. She doesn't need to bring anything else into the house until what she has is organized. And that is the end of that story, but I really hope that she gets help. My in-laws destroyed my reputation, and my wife protected them.
The law is not on your side here.
My 27 male marriage is in a really bad spot after a deep breach of trust. I don't know how to recover or how to trust my wife, 30 female again. We've been together 7 years, married for 5 with a 2-year-old son. We met at a convention where I was blown away by her cosplay. That's nice.
Aww.
I struck up a conversation, and the rest is history. She's the most loving, unselfish, and decent person I've ever met. Or at least I thought she was. By the way, this comes from Throwaway Draft Cassette, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, I'm Sophia.
I'm Matt.
And I am Riley, and this is Matt. He's a good friend of ours.
Howdy.
And OP says, our relationship was never without challenges, but our biggest obstacle was always her family. My presence was unwelcome from day one. They're incredibly close-knit, operating like a pack, where if one member doesn't accept you, you're shut out entirely. Yikes. There are a few family members who broke away from this toxic dynamic, but they're treated as black sheep, completely cut off and barely acknowledged. I didn't fully understand the extent of her family's control, but I knew family meant everything to my wife. Her entire upbringing centered around family loyalty above all else. So I tried everything in my power to make it work with them, bending over backward to gain their acceptance. They barely tolerated me until our son was born.
Oh.
Dang. I mean, like, they only care about the grandson?
I mean, at least they care about you now.
Yeah, at least
There's
you
a
got
reason
somewhere.
to, but it's like you have to earn your keep in the
Your
most
keep
of
is
like
having a
permanent
child.
ways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you've secured your line. And so now it's okay. Between our wedding planning and shortly before the ceremony, I became the target of relentless, vicious cyberbullying.
Oh my gosh.
OP's a 30-year-old. Oh, well, actually, no, that would have been at 25. They're bullying a 25-year-old? That's so weird. I mean, don't bully anyone.
Yeah, especially when you get older.
Don't bully anyone, but like those are adults bullying an adult. That's weird. You
I
know?
feel like if you start out as a bully, you never kind of outgrow that. You just find different avenues.
yeah,
and
this
different
whole
people to
family,
do it.
Yeah, this whole family seems.
I
Like
wonder
bullies.
if it's less of a they accepted OP after the kid was born, or is it, man, we can't get rid of him now.
Yeah. It was deeply personal and coordinated. Fake negative reviews flooded my business profile, costing me potential clients and threatening my livelihood.
What?
I had no idea where it was coming from or why someone would target me so systematically. Every time I reported accounts, it would take forever for anything to be done, and then a new account would pop up for another round of attacks.
Oh my gosh.
This is, I mean, like, how do you even sue these people? Like, you don't know who it is.
I was about to say, can you arrest someone for making fake accounts like this? Is that possible?
I mean, you could potentially sue for
Yeah.
like libel. However,
Libel,
OP doesn't know who
defamation,
these
lost
people are.
wages.
Yeah,
False. I don't know. False. That's biblical. False witness.
yeah, but he would have to like find.
You could probably do it if you hired like a PI,
Mhm.
but that's a lot of money and effort.
The whole nightmare impacted every aspect of my life and destroyed my mental health. My wife was incredibly supportive throughout this ordeal. She became my rock, my anchor in the storm. She held me when I broke down, encouraged me when I wanted to give up, and reminded me of my worth when the attacks made me question everything about myself. I loved her even more for how she stood by me during the darkest period of my life. Then, as suddenly as it began, the trolling stopped.
Aw.
I wanted nothing more than to move on and put it all behind me. For years, I thought I had. Until the other day when my wife confessed that her family was behind the entire Pesterment campaign.
What? Wait, time out. So you knew, how long did you know? That's
That's
my
what I'm
first
wondering.
question.
And why did you let it go on?
Because if she knew while they were doing it, why did you let it go on?
Yeah.
If she just found out, why have we not cut off your entire family?
Yes.
I didn't believe her at first. It seemed too cruel, too calculated. But she was serious and showed me proof in their family group chat.
Oh, this has gone to group chat level. Oh, so it's.
If they're okay posting it on the group chat, then she knew.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, you gotta.
And it's like, why did you wait until now? What makes this the opportune time? And like, what did you do to did she make them stop finally, or did they just like, okay, I'm bored?
But she was serious and showed me proof. Reading those messages felt like being transported right back to that dark time. They were gloating about their success, justifying their actions with comments like, some people gotta learn the hard way. Gotta learn what? And if he wants to join the fold, here's his initiation. So they're hazing you.
Yeah, it's like, is this a frat?
Her family frat hazed you.
Who do you know here?
That's crazy. I knew I wasn't their favorite person, but I never realized they hated me enough to orchestrate such a systematic campaign of destruction. The casual cruelty in their messages was breathtaking. I asked my wife when she found out and whether she participated. She swore she wasn't involved and would never do that to me. According to her, she didn't initially know her family was behind it until a few months before our wedding, when one of my sisters-in-law, 28 female, accidentally left a fake profile open on her phone. My wife saw it, confronted the family, and made them stop.
Oh, what?
I don't know if I would care. I'd be like, yeah, you made them stop, but they're still in our lives.
At this point, now that you're admitting to it, and now that you know, there has to be a barrier of like, if you have to stop the same interaction that you would have.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because now you know, like, okay, you don't just actively dislike
You
my partner.
despise him.
You despise them and are willing to ruin our entire livelihood. Because like,
Absolutely. His finances affect her.
yeah, they are a unit now, and if he's not doing well financially, she's not doing well
Yeah.
financially, plus whatever kids they have.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, you're collateral, but we don't care. It's part of
Exactly.
the hazing.
But here's what broke me. I asked why she was telling me now, years later. So it's been 5 years. 5 years since that. Because they're 30 and they got married when they were 25.
Oh my gosh. And 2 years will be finally divorced.
Yep. She said the secret had been weighing on her, so she confided in her eldest sister, 35 female, one of the family's black sheep. The sister threatened to tell me the truth if my wife didn't come clean herself.
Oh,
Let's
so
go.
She was just never gonna tell.
Yeah, she was never going to tell OP.
Take this secret to her grave. Why don't she?
If you're a black sheep in this family, it's good.
It's
Yep.
like, oh, you're normal. Cool. You're not a
The
psychopath.
fact that OP is not a black sheep says a lot about her.
And then I glanced into the sister's eyes and kind of saw something I've never seen before.
Yeah, go get her sister.
It's like a Hallmark romantic comedy.
Yeah.
Halloween edition because of like
He was a
the
busy
harassment.
businessman, and
She was the black sheep,
she was the black sheep of her family. He was set to marry her sister.
but she decided she'd had enough.
So that's great. Someone write that. So she didn't tell me out of guilt or love or respect for our marriage. She told me because she was backed into a corner. She was blackmailed.
My question is at this point, like, if it was someone else that they were doing this to, would the sister have joined in?
I feel like she would have.
Like,
I
if it
feel like
was
she would
black
have.
sheep sister's spouse,
Yeah.
would she have been part of this?
Nothing my wife said made any of this better. She had known for years what her family did to me and chose to hide it. She watched me suffer, held me while I cried about the pesterment, and never once considered that I deserved to know the truth. It hurts more coming from her because she witnessed my pain firsthand and still chose to protect them over me. I went numb. My wife grew anxious and kept pushing for me to respond, to say something, anything. Finally, I told her there wasn't anything she could say right now that would make this okay. What she did was no better than her family's actions. They made my life heck, and her first instinct was to cover for them, just like she'd been trained to do her entire life. She started crying and begged me to understand. She insisted it wasn't like that, claiming she was trying to make things right with as little damage as possible while mending relationships. But whose relationships was she protecting? Certainly not ours. I told her I needed space to process everything. She fought me on this, insisting we could work through this together, but I held firm. I needed time to think without her trying to manage my emotions or steer my reactions.
Yeah, that's really smart. Because,
Mhm.
I don't know, I feel like if you do try to process with someone that has been manipulating you in some way, shape, or form.
She's going to keep doing that.
Yeah, exactly.
Where you don't know when she's being genuine at that point and when she's actually
No.
like trying to continue the manipulation, try to save herself
Mhm.
and everybody else. Like, you can't always stay on the fence.
Also, how would you even like continue in this relationship if she has a relationship with her family? Just like not even from the betrayal of her having that relationship with the family and not cutting them off, but just like, are you expected to go to family events
Yeah.
with these people?
What's your Thanksgiving looking like?
You know, like, or would you never go? Because I would feel like it's totally reasonable for you to never see them again. But, you know, is she going to be able to, how is she going to navigate that? Are they going to start harassing you more because you're not coming to anything?
I'm wondering if there's an aspect of like just cultural or familial pressure in this.
Yeah.
That like you have to stick with the family no matter what everyone else is an outsider. Even if like they're by marriage, they're not by blood. I wonder
Yeah.
if there's an aspect of that playing into wife's psyche here.
Could be. Space isn't a request, she's respected. She keeps trying to force conversations, to push past my boundaries the same way her family taught her to do. I'm really trying to understand her perspective and move past this betrayal, but I feel completely shattered. I trusted her more than anyone in my life. I was most vulnerable with her, sharing my deepest fears and insecurities, even after she knew the truth about who was tormenting me. I continued opening up to her about the lasting impact of that pesterment. Looking back, I realized she encouraged me to let it go and not allow it to have any claim on me. At this time, I thought she had my best interests at heart. Now, I see it as another attempt to protect her family by minimizing the damage they caused. I hadn't confronted anyone from her family directly. Honestly, I don't think they're worth my energy, but I've made it clear they're no longer allowed to see our son until further notice. Now I'm getting texts about how I'm depriving my child of grandparents and aunts over past family spats. Past family spats? That's what they're calling a coordinated pesterment campaign that nearly destroyed my business and my mental health. I would go to the wife and be like, hey, like, let's talk about this. I want to, show me the proof and stuff. Show me all of this. Download it all. Sue them.
Yeah.
Sue them. Because now you have proof.
Yeah, you've lost.
Sue them.
You lost business for it.
Mhm.
Potentially ruined your business and your
And
mental
emotional
health and
damages,
anguish.
yeah.
I struggle to see how the family doesn't see how OP knowing
Mm-hmm.
is causing them distress and causes them to distrust him. It's like, it was just a prank, bro. No, because like this ruins people's lives.
Yeah.
You
they
never
tried
know
to
how
ruin his
stable
life.
or unstable a person is.
Mhm.
You
One
know.
of the most difficult aspects of this whole situation is the distance from my wife. She's been my best friend and partner in every way for 7 years. Now we're mostly communicating only about our son and household necessities, like roommates managing logistics rather than lovers sharing a life. She's hurt by what she sees as my rejection, and she's been crying often. I don't get over it. This is your fault. Part of me wonders if I'm being unfair to her, but then I remember that she had years to tell me the truth and chose not to. She chose them over me, over us, over our marriage. I hate all of this. I want to make our marriage work, but I'm questioning everything about our relationship now. How many other times has she chosen her family's comfort over my well-being? What else has she hidden to keep the peace with people who actively try to destroy me? I'm lost and need an outside perspective. How do I navigate this situation and move forward for my marriage, for myself, and for our son? Is it possible to rebuild trust after such a fundamental betrayal? Can a marriage survive when you discover your partner will sacrifice your well-being to protect people who hate you? And how do I co-parent with someone whose family considers psychological warfare an acceptable initiation? I love my wife, but I don't know if love is enough to overcome the fact that when push came to shove, she chose her family's secrets over our marriage's foundation of trust and honesty. I'm really lost right now and could use any advice on how to move forward. And there are some comments. Do you have any thoughts, though, before we get into those?
I think it's possible to repair the trust.
Really?
Especially
After 5 years of this?
Okay, it's gonna be a long shot.
Okay.
It's gonna be a long shot.
What's
It
the
is
play?
possible. But wife's got to do work.
Yeah.
The wifey's got to do the work. She has to cut off contact
Yeah.
from like all this entire family.
Massive amounts of therapy.
Massive amounts of therapy, receipts, and help process possibly the lawsuit idea.
Mm-hmm.
Consistently prove that OP is more important than the family now, and like put
Yeah.
the work in.
Okay.
It's possible, but it's extraordinarily unlikely
Yeah.
that wifey's gonna want to do it, or
And
if she tries, that she'll
therefore-
go through with it.
Divorce.
Yeah,
Well,
no.
I think she needs to cut off her family and then also divorce OP, because if she is now on the path of, okay, I'm going to try and prove myself and gain back your trust, she's going from doing that with her family
Mhm.
and, slandering you to, now worshiping you and now trying to earn that all back just for you. And that's not healthy either, unless it has to be very amicable,
Yeah.
couples counseling, that kind of way. I just don't see it really working out, because now she's trying to prove to you that she's a good guy,
I mean, in the long run, there's going to be issues if they do decide they want to try to save it. There is a possibility. It's like a 1 in a million shot. But
Yeah.
if they really, really wanted to, they could. It's going to be tough. I do think
Yeah.
that the best option for them is divorce,
I agree.
because I don't think that wife is going to want to do the work.
Yeah,
I
if
don't
she
think
hasn't
wife's
done
going
it in
to.
5 years
Right.
and didn't even tell him.
Mhm.
I feel like she's not going to want.
She's
to
not going to be want to cut off from her family. So the option is there. Will she take it? Highly unlikely.
I feel like divorce, sue.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Gino Flowers says, I think what is bothering me most is that your wife is still not getting it. She doesn't understand how vile her family is. And if they did it once, they could do it again. They took your money, your peace of mind, your confidence. Even though she stopped it, she never told you, leaving you to wonder why and who. And past family spats? It's not like this was a little tiff and they apologized and you won't let it go. I'd suggest therapy for you both, and I don't even know how. At the very least, you'll learn how to co-parent together if you can't save the marriage. Yeah, I think that's why, regardless of what you do, therapy is important, because I forgot they have a son.
Yeah.
So, like, therapy, yes, absolutely.
Therapy and counseling.
Maybe a therapist can get her to see how huge this is. OP says, I don't know. It's like my wife's not getting where I'm coming from or just doesn't want to go there. Her family never even apologized. They're making it out like I'm holding grudges. Bizju says, also realize she didn't tell you because she wanted to. She only told you because someone else threatened to tell you. And she wanted to control exactly what was said. If I were you, I'd want to speak to the other person who knew, the black sheep. It's such a huge breach of trust. She aided her relatives in trying to destroy your livelihood and self-worth. I can't see any reason why you'd want to remain married to someone who clearly doesn't value you or really love you, and has demonstrated she loves and places her family above you. Madeline Ashton says, is she going to cut off her family now? OP says she hasn't said anything about that. She's been too flustered with me asking for some space. No solutions have been offered. My small self says I couldn't imagine trying to rebuild after that level of betrayal. Has anyone tried to make amends, take ownership of their actions? She can make excuses all she wants, but it doesn't sound like she's taking accountability. I don't know if I would even be open to continuing. I'd be having a heart-to-heart with my lawyer to see what custody arrangements would look like. OP says, there's been no apology of any kind.
What?
Or acknowledging what they did. Yeah, the family continues to say that OP's just holding a grudge.
Okay, this is cooked. This is done for.
Okay, there's no sympathy or not sympathy, but there's no accountability or regret or anything. Yeah, no, okay. I rescind my previous offer.
That's from the family.
But still, it's like she's not apologized for
It's true.
her whatever part she had in it.
I mean, she's just denying that she had a part in it.
Mm-hmm.
Which, like, she did. She did. She kept it from OP. That's a part. They're making it out like I'm depriving them from my son over a minor dispute. And there is an update 7 days later.
Oh, gosh.
Thank you to everyone who reached out after my last post. I, 27 male, wasn't able to reply to everyone, but your support was deeply appreciated. It solidified my wake-up call and helped me realize I wasn't overthinking the situation. If anything, you were underthinking it.
Yeah, you've been taking it too lax, my guy.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to give you an update. Earlier this week, my wife, 30 female, and I were finally able to sit down and hash everything out. I'm glad I held firm on needing space because even though the situation still feels like a massive betrayal, I was in a much better position to have a productive conversation. My wife thought I was preparing to call it quits on our marriage, but I told her we were at a crossroads and needed to talk things through.
Okay. I mean,
Okay.
you can't, if you got a kid, you've been together for years.
But you better do everything that Matt said, or else.
And then some.
And then some. Yeah.
Back rubs every night after
Every
work.
night.
Yeah.
Working at the cash register.
I'm allowed to cry in your lap about your parents bullying me,
Yeah.
Cyberbullying me.
I get to
every
hold the
day.
remote every night when we watch TV.
Yeah, steak and blow every Tuesday.
Oh.
Sam's quote. This comes right from Sam.
Well, I didn't need to hear it.
I'm not saying.
Rejected.
Big brain play, though,
Yeah.
here. So clearly the family wanted to ruin OP's business so that wife would see, oh, he's a failure, then leave him because there's no reason to stay if he's, like, got no money and can't take care of their kid.
Of course.
Just spite. Pure spite response. Just stay with her. Just as your own
You tried
bitter
to get me
revenge.
out. She apologized for what her family did and for her role in covering it up. She admitted she never intended to hurt me. She had convinced herself she was protecting me from more pain. But she realizes now that she was largely protecting herself. She was brutally honest about her motivations. She was terrified that telling me the truth wouldn't just end our wedding, but that I'd end our entire relationship. I also just want to go back and say that OP said that they didn't really treat him well until like around their baby / relationship.
Yeah, until
their
the
wedding.
baby came, right?
Yeah.
But when did the baby come?
The baby
Was
came.
that around the wedding?
Well, they just treated him horribly, and then they stopped trolling him. I don't know when the baby came, but
I'm just wondering if that was around the same time.
here, let's
Like,
ask Dingus.
How old is the son, I guess?
When did the parents stop treating OP horribly?
No, I know when they did. I'm just asking how old the son is. Because they stopped treating him horribly around the son. But I'm just wondering if those are around the same time.
The in-laws stopped treating horribly after his son was born. When was the son born? Dingus bot. The son in the story was born 2 years ago.
Okay, so never mind. I was going to say, oh, maybe they stopped because she told him off. But no, separate. So they didn't even stop treating him badly.
They stopped the targeted harassment of the business.
Yeah.
But they still treated OP terribly.
Yeah, which is kind of crazy to me. Because after she finds out that they've been harassing him online and tells them to put a stop to it, she doesn't stop the in-person harassment. That's crazy. That goes on for 3 more years?
It's part of the ritual, the initiation.
Wild.
Gotta do the time.
She'd already lost our relationship and friendships because of her family's behavior, and she couldn't bear the thought of losing me. Over the years since our wedding, she wanted to tell me the truth multiple times, but kept talking herself out of it. As time passed, the cover-up grew bigger and more complex, making confession feel impossible. The longer she waited, the harder it became to find the words. I told her I didn't agree with her choices and wished she'd had more faith in me and our relationship. I meant it. I wouldn't have just abandoned her if she'd been honest from the start. We could have faced this together instead of carrying this burden alone while I remained in the dark.
Carrying this burden? What is that verbiage? Because it's not a burden. You chose to actively not tell OP.
Yeah,
I
feel
don't
like the
think-
burden of the lie, but it's
I,
like,
I think OP's giving her too much credit here.
I agree. I feel like he's like, you should have trusted me. Like, as if she didn't actively hide this horrible secret.
Yeah.
She was complicit in this horrible secret. And again, she didn't do anything to stop them harassing you in person. So like, I would have been like, yeah, you didn't know about this, but you knew that they were treating me terribly in person and you did
And
nothing.
the thing is that according to the update, this isn't the first time that that Wifey's family has ruined a relationship.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep,
you know.
and she can't stand up to them. She asked where we go from here, and I promised that no matter what happened, there would be no more secrets between us. I told her I wanted to work on our marriage, but fundamental changes were necessary. We couldn't survive with her toxic family's influence hanging over us, and I refused to expose our son to this manipulation and cruelty. When she asked what I needed from her, I laid it out clearly. I've never been one for ultimatums, and I don't really consider this one, but I was adamant. Any path forward for us would require radical boundaries with her family. I cut them off.
Yeah.
Literally
there's no
cut them
family.
off. The boundary is that you never see them.
Mm-hmm.
She was honest that the thought of such a dramatic break from her family was terrifying, but ultimately said, if it's between them and us, between them and our son, then I choose us. Her agreement was huge for me because I genuinely didn't know which way she'd go if forced to choose. I never wanted to put her in that position, but after everything her family did, I felt there was no other option. What gave me real hope that she was serious was what happened next. Without me asking, she sent a text to their family group chat telling them to stop blowing up my phone and stating that the decision to cut off their access to our son was joint and that she fully supported it. I didn't expect that level of public support from her, and it meant everything.
Oh,
Why
wow.
did it take her so long to do that?
I wonder if she discussed this with them previously. It's like, okay, I'm gonna do this,
Yeah.
but
And it's gonna be a
now
big
everything
thing.
she does has
don't
to be
trust it.
like, okay, what's the grand conspiracy here? What is she
Yeah.
telling them?
Yeah,
on
what
the
else is she
outside
lying about?
in the group chat?
And also, how did these other people have this kind of hold and power over OP? What were they saying and doing?
The family members?
Yeah.
They were messing with his business. They
I know that, but like, what were they doing? Not over OP. Sorry, OP's wife.
Just their
Oh, just
family.
their family.
It's just a family thing, I
Yeah.
think.
Okay.
I think it was just pressure from
The
the
family.
family to...
Well, are they gonna keep doing that? Is she gonna?
Well, I think this is
Walk
this
it
is
back.
the pivotal
This
moment.
is the ultimate.
Yeah, this is
ultimatum
her
to the
being like-
family.
I know,
This
but I
is-
just
yeah.
don't think it's gonna stick.
Oh,
is
absolutely
what I'm trying to say.
not.
That's- I
no.
agree.
She's gonna crawl back to them. It might take 6 months, might take 3 years, but she is eventually gonna break and go back to her family.
I hope not, but it does seem likely. Of course, they didn't take it well. Now she's been labeled disrespectful and ungrateful. They're claiming that the black sheep eldest sister, 35 female, and I are poisoning her against them. One particularly telling message read, "What kind of man takes a woman away from her family over a spat? This isn't a spat. And I have nothing to prove about my manhood. They orchestrated a systematic campaign designed to destroy my livelihood and mental health. Their actions are genuinely chilling when I think about it. These are the same people who looked me in the eye with straight faces while actively sabotaging my life behind the scenes. This is about protecting my family, period. My wife has gone low contact with them, which
As
is a major
opposed to
step.
no contact.
I literally think she needs to go no contact. I don't think low contact is enough.
Low contact's just gonna open up the floodgates even more.
Her family operates with this twisted mindset that romantic partners and friends are temporary, while family is permanent and deserves absolute loyalty regardless of their behavior. But
But
What?
the mom and dad are
yeah,
married and
Is this
not
just
blood.
something-
Unless they're a little Targaryen going
that's
on
what,
there.
yeah, well, that's what I was gonna say.
You know, I mean, Lannisters send their regards as well.
They can't seem to grasp that my wife, our son, and I are the core family now. Their extended family and their involvement with our son is a privilege, not a right. A privilege they've thoroughly mistreated. I still don't fully understand their exact issue with me. They only tolerated my presence because of our son. When I first met them, one of my wife's siblings, 28 female, bluntly said they thought my wife was settling for me because of age and that she could do better. They're an incredibly insular group where if one member rejects you, you're permanently shut out by the rest. Once their minds were made up about me, nothing I did mattered. I've long since stopped trying to decode their reasoning. It's a rabbit hole that leads nowhere productive. We're planning to relocate to create healthier distance, cement our boundaries, and get a fresh start. We're also starting therapy soon, which we've been discussing for a while now. Moving away will be beneficial for us. Interestingly, it was actually my eldest sister-in-law, the family black sheep, who first suggested this during our wedding planning. She knew 5 years ago that you needed to get away. She encouraged my wife to create our own space away from the family's suffocating influence. I know my wife is so much more than her family's dysfunction. I've witnessed it firsthand. She absolutely shines when she's away from their toxic influence. That's what I meant in my original post when I said she was the most loving, unselfish, and decent person I'd ever met. Her family's manipulation doesn't define who she really is. If I'm being completely honest, I don't know how things will ultimately turn out. I'm still hurt, still processing feelings of betrayal, and my wife is facing her own challenges with establishing low contact with her family. But I want to be hopeful. I don't want to close the door on us. By the way, you should never close the door on listening to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. There is a little bit left to this story. Do you have any final thoughts?
CULT, get away from that family tree.
Yeah. Just the fact that it's anyone who disagrees with them just becomes the black sheep.
Yeah.
I really think that any contact at all with this family is too much.
Yeah.
He should have demanded, like, when you're going to cut off contact, it's no contact, not low contact.
Yeah.
Because she's struggling now.
Yeah.
She's behind OP's back. Unless he's, like, actively watching her phone 24/7. She's absolutely texting them.
Well, they're absolutely texting her.
If she's responding, she might just be deleting her responses
Mm-hmm.
and stuff just to hide it. But she's clearly not able to get away from their influence as long as they have even the smallest inlet into her life. The distance is a good start, but if they can still reach you through a family group chat or texting, you're not out of the woods.
It's like when Cora has that like mercury in her, and then for like 3 years she's like, why am I feeling I'm like, not healing, and then finally she gets all of it out of her. You need to get all of that mercury.
Need detox.
But there is a little bit left. I'm hoping we can heal together, build something stronger from this painful foundation of truth, and create the kind of family environment for our son that neither of us had growing up. Thank you again to everyone for the overwhelming support. After years of feeling isolated by my in-laws' hostility, discovering that most people find their behavior as unacceptable as I do means more than you know. Your perspectives helped me trust my instincts and gave me courage to demand the changes our marriage needed. We have a long road ahead, but for the first time in years, I feel like we're walking it together instead of her walking alongside her family while I struggle to keep up. And Cursed Cactus says, her family crossed an unforgivable line. Cut them out of your life completely. You must forge your own path, and toxic people have no place in it. Wish you the best of luck. And another comment says, this family is acting like a cult. I mean it. Their whole attitude of family over everything, keeping outsiders away, punishing members for daring to step out of line, and banishing them from the family. Your wife had to go through years of brainwashing. I would believe her when she says she was afraid to go against her family. Not to make any excuses for her, because not telling you the truth was wrong, but that she's now willing to set boundaries with her family is huge. She has years and years of therapy ahead of her to fix what these people broke, and I'm wishing both of you the best of luck.
Oh my
And that is
gosh.
the end of that story. Man, oh man.
This woman, there's so much she has to do. I don't know if she's going to have the willpower to do it because,
I hope
the
so.
sister blackmailed her to talk to the husband, and now she's, like, doing this marriage because it's what the husband wants. I have no glimpse of what this woman actually wants.
Yeah.
My wonder and worry is, like, what were they going to do with this poor child?
Yeah.
How far down were they going to try to brainwash this kid against their dad?
Oh, they absolutely, like, anytime the kid came over, would have been brainwashed. Your dad sucks. Your dad's weak. Your dad's not a man.
Brainwash. What kind of brainwashing would they do?
I just said it.
Well, I know, but, like, what cartoons are they showing them? Like, today we're going to show you a cartoon about...
Or it's like, I'll give you a cookie if you call your dad an idiot.
Yeah. We're gonna watch
goes
how
back home.
parents are the worst things ever, especially dads.
But I'm hoping it works out. I'm hoping that she follows through with all of that. Good luck.
OP gave her so much grace, and it's literally on her now.
Yeah, it's on her.
It's on her to break contact,
Mm-hmm.
repair the damage, make sure the therapy's working. Like, OP already made a huge gesture of goodwill and faith by saying, okay, we'll work through it together.
A lot more than she deserves, but it's very kind
Mm-hmm.
and like huge deal that he gave that second chance.
Yep.
Otherwise, divorce is the right course.
But that's the end of that story. We've got another one coming right up.
Purposely make my wife upset so she will clean the house more.
That's terrible. Stop that.
I mean, but you got to clean house, John.
Stop that.
Trigger warning, emotional abuse.
Sounds like it.
Shouldn't have laughed on that one. Anyway, okay. This is crazy. All right. So I know the title sounds bad.
Yep.
Yeah, it does.
Correct.
But hear me out. All right. I, 28 male, have been married to my wife, Lindsay, 25 female, for 2 years. We've been together for 7 years. Our marriage is great. Despite us both being busy with work, we still make time to go on dates and be intimate with each other whenever we can. By the way, this comes from Electronic Act 7658. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, I work in engineering, and Lindsay is a registered nurse. So I pay for most of the bills and utilities. We split the bills, but I pay for the majority of the cost because I make more. Lindsay usually fully covers grocery costs and the Wi-Fi, which isn't much because it's just the two of us. I feel that since I make and spend more money, Lindsay should make up for that in housework. I'm not some traditional wife-desiring a-hole.
I just want her to do everything.
Yeah, I just want her to do it all. I think it's great that she works and has goals for her career, you know, unlike the women that I want in my life. I want her to, I swear. I feel like our chores are split fairly. It changes day by day depending on our schedules, but typically Lindsay cooks our meals. She's much better than me. I mean, of course. Trust me, you don't want me anywhere near a kitchen.
Oh, here we go.
I'll just make it worse.
I'll just make it worse. Yeah, you're so good at folding clothes, babe. Like, oh no, I mean, like, you don't want me anywhere near those things. You're just so talented on that. And like, yeah, you wouldn't want me there. But it's nothing fancy or requiring a lot of effort. She does the dishes and vacuums, but it's not daily. It's more like as needed basis. I take out the trash weekly and wash our cars about once a month. This has always seemed fair to me, but recently I felt frustrated with her. I've been at my current job for 6 years and I've developed really great friendships. In my time there's a few of us that always get together on break for lunch and whatnot. And one of my coworkers, John, 35 male, has been married to his wife, Claire, for about 10 years, if my memory serves correctly. About a month ago, John invited me over and the rest of the gang, plus our wives, to have dinner at their house. Claire is a stay-at-home mom, so she handles everything at home while John works and brings home the bacon. I know this sounds bad, but I was jealous. Man wants that bacon lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
Not because
Traditional
she's traditional bacon. Freaking honey roasted Canadian ham.
Oh, that sounds good.
Not because she's a stay-at-home mom, I don't want kids, but because John has a wife that actually puts effort into her food and cleaning.
And mine just does it on an as-need basis.
Yeah. Their house was immaculate, completely spotless. No dishes left in the sink, little knickknacks left out on the countertops, nothing. I couldn't believe it. Claire set the table and waited on everyone. She was thoughtful and made sure everyone's glasses were always full and would ask if she could get us more food.
You're describing a waitress.
He's like, guys, I don't want the stereotypical traditional wife that's waiting on me hand and foot, but I want that.
If only I had a woman who was waiting on me.
I need it so bad.
My wife needs to step it up.
She made flaming yawn with mashed potatoes and roasted vegetables. Oh, it was amazing. And I can't remember the last time Lindsay put any effort into our meals. It's always something lazy like pasta. A lot of chicken-centered meals, tacos, quesadillas, everything requiring little to no effort. On the drive home, Lindsay made a comment about how Claire is an amazing cook and said she would like to have dinner with them again because they're great people. I agreed with her and said something along the lines of,
Here we go.
You ready for
Let's
it?
freaking go.
We're locked and loaded.
Drop it.
We're locked and
Drop
loaded.
it.
We're locked and freaking loaded. Also, Samantha L says she works. Yeah, she's a registered nurse. Again, she works. So I said something along the lines of, you could, be a little bit more adventurous with your meal choices so we can eat good at home too. Just a thought. And by gosh, by golly, did this woman take offense to this and said she didn't realize her food was so bad. I said it wasn't, but it was nothing compared to Claire's.
Oh, no.
Because she puts effort I feel the love in every dish. She stopped talking to me and was pouting like a child. She went to bed without speaking to me that night. I ended up apologizing the next day when she got home, and she forgave me. Fast forward a week later, and I became more and more frustrated. She was working 12-hour shifts. Where's my freaking pasta?
Where's my filet mignon?
Where's my filet mignon?
Filet mignon.
12-hour shifts more than usual, and as a result, her housework suffered.
Oh, my God.
But she's bringing in the same amount of money now.
She has to be making good money with this. 12 hours as a nurse?
But yeah, I think she's still not making as much as him. She would leave at 7 a.m. and come home at 7 p.m. And on some nights, she went straight to bed without making dinner.
Good.
She went straight to bed. All right. If you're making so much money, my guy, there's this little thing.
Here we go.
A little secret.
Say it, Sam.
I'm going to put you on Uber Eats.
Oh, what is that? Oh, my God.
Boom. I just saved a marriage. Call me Dr. House.
But I'm a caveman. I don't understand.
But I just saved a marriage.
Also, where I'm from, if you say another woman's food is better than your wife's, that's cheating.
So Sophia Calhoun and chat was agreeing with you. Shout out.
I ended up getting takeout on those nights. Dishes were piling up in the sink. The carpets were becoming noticeably dirty, and she just sat in bed, scrolling on her phone or sleeping. I tried to be understanding at first. At this point, she's used to working 12-hour shifts, so there's really no excuse.
Oh, my God.
I ended up having a talk with her and was brutally honest. I told her I'm not satisfied with her level of housework anymore, and I want her to do more. I want her to come home and make dinner, and I want her to put more effort into it. I gave her some examples of meals I would like to eat and suggestions for a way that she can clean before going to bed, such as drinking coffee or energy drinks on the way home.
Oh,
No!
no.
Come on. Just drink some coffee.
Oh, God.
I thought she was receptive to my ideas at first. But then, man, this guy is a regular Sherlock here. I realized she looked pissed using my powers of deduction and observation.
Oh, you don't say.
She very coldly asked me if I feel this way because of John's wife. And I answered honestly. And I said yes. I told her I would be embarrassed if my friends came over to have dinner with us after that dinner at John's.
Oh, my God.
You did.
She started tearing up when I said this. And I felt kinda bad for being so harsh. She didn't say a word to me and just left the room. I came out a short while later and saw her manically scrubbing a stain out of the carpet on her hands and knees, still crying. I asked her what she was doing. And she screamed, "What does it look like, you effing a-hole?" The stain she was scrubbing was pretty much gone, but she continued for what felt like hours. I started feeling sorry for pushing her to that point, but then I remembered something.
What did you remember, buddy?
Then I had
what
an idea.
popped into your freaking brain, your pea-sized little noodle up there?
Something that could work out great for me or go horribly wrong.
No.
When she was in high school, she was in a psych ward. She told me she used to neglect herself when she felt really depressed, but after being in the ward, she obviously cleans when she feels depressed or overwhelmed because of the habits they drilled into her. I almost felt like a DC villain because of the huge smirk that crept on my face. So the next night she got home at 7 p.m., I told her I had something to confess to her, and she looked petrified. I told her I was sorry, but I watched Korn while she was at work because I was lonely. She ended up throwing up from crying so much, but just as I thought, she started cleaning. This guy's evil. This guy's evil.
Dude, what?
What?
This guy's evil. If you didn't think he was evil before, oh my God. She washed all the dishes by hand. That's how I like it. I don't want some robot washing my dishes. I want blood, sweat. I want my wife's blood, sweat, and tears on these dishes. Instead of using the dishwasher, she dusted everything. Every fan, every TV screen, every shelf. I didn't want it to be too obvious, so I started limiting this trick 4 times a week max. Skip to present day. I made a joke at lunch with my coworkers about how I trained my wife to love cleaning. Everyone was laughing and asked for the secret. So I said, all I got to do is make her cry. And she wants to clean.
Please, please come for this man. Please. Please do it, coworkers.
Daniel asked me what I mean, and I told him how her response to being upset is to clean, so I've been upsetting her on purpose. Everyone was silent while I was still laughing. Adam asked why, in a very unamused tone. I spilled the beans about how Claire made me realize how unmotivated my wife is, and I wish Lindsay was more like her. The rest of lunch was pretty awkward, and I felt like I made everyone uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Men, again, nothing gets past this guy.
Bro is, God, I can't even.
I ended up texting John to ask if I did something wrong because he didn't come by my station before leaving like he usually does. He told me he felt really weird about the way I was treating my wife and idealizing his. He told me I was being an a-hole and emotionally abusing her when I should just communicate. I argued against this because I did communicate. I told her exactly what I wanted from her, and all she did was make excuses about being tired from work and needing sleep. She even suggested that I should clean more if the state of the house bothers me so much, and that I should learn to cook before criticizing her. We would not be able to afford the house we live in if it weren't for me. The lifestyle we live is because of me, so why can't she just show appreciation by cleaning and cooking better meals? It's been 3 days now, and I am now sitting alone at lunch. When I sit with my usual group, everyone stops talking. I feel like I really effed up and want to make things right with my friends. At the same time, I feel like what I'm doing is okay because it's not for no reason. She's actually cleaning more, and I'm so proud of her. Am I the a-hole because I want to keep doing it? And there's an edit, and there's an update. But is OP
This is the clearest.
the a-hole?
You are the a-hole in human space-time continuum history. That's it. You need to marry a F-doll and a maid.
Yep.
Because
A
that's
little robot.
actually, you just need a robot. Because I always say this. If you make such good money, apparently OP, for this lifestyle, would you not want to, get cleaning, buy food or whatever so you could spend more time with the person who's supposed to be your best friend? Why would you not want that?
I mean, he just
would
wants
you not
someone
want
he can control. That's
He
what
wants someone he can control and be he wants a maid. He wants a maid, and he is doing some disgusting ways to coerce his wife into becoming that. And
But
that's
we
what
got an
have.
edit.
Please.
When we got an update. So I understand that I'm the a-hole now. And no, this is not fake. We're sorry to deprive you of that comfort. It's impossible not to recognize something is wrong with you when a good 80% of the commenters are calling it fake or hoping it is. I understand now that I mentally mistreated my wife, and I do want to fix it. Thank you to the two people who actually took the time to offer constructive feedback and advice. As much as I hate the thought, I'm going to seek out a professional. It is impossible for everyone to be wrong, and I'm right, even though that's what my brain is telling me. I know something is wrong with me, even though my brain is saying there isn't. Thank you all for helping me realize it. As per request, I will update in the future if there's any update, and there is an update.
Dude, before this happened, I remember scrolling on TikTok, and there was like, "Hey girls, what's like a way for your a trick you guys do with your husband?" And I was reading the comments. All of them were like placebo effect. It's like, "Oh yeah, if he cleans, I give him the like if he does this, I give him the." And I thought this is what it was gonna be. Like, "Oh yeah, she cleans, so I would give her the." But this is not the case.
It's not the case.
Not at all.
So update. Hi. Been a while. I don't have a lot to say, but I was asked to update if I ever did try therapy, and I did. I didn't like it.
No.
I dropped out of individual therapy after like 2 sessions. My therapist was more interested in my childhood than giving me actual advice, but stuck with couples therapy.
Okay.
I tried.
Okay.
I really did. The therapist and my wife would gang up on me. The therapist changed my wife a lot. She went from being kind and soft-spoken to rude and brazen. She would snap on me for absolutely nothing, constantly bring up things I've done in the past. She used it against me in an argument to try to make me submit. Remember how my wife is an RN? Yeah, well, she was effing cheating on me with some ugly see you next Tuesday working in the same shifts as her. She confessed to that in therapy and said if I could forgive her, she could forgive me for all the things I've done. This is who's worse?
I mean, okay, so here's the thing. That, cheating is never okay, but I would guess she had someone who's actually showing her some sort of interest and compassion and whatever at work, being in this insanely toxic relationship, and instead of doing what she should have done, which is freaking run out the door and then maybe find this person
she
later.
acted out.
Whether it was acting out, whether it was like, oh, this is someone who's actually showing interest in me, whatever it is. But I mean, even the idea too of like, oh, wipe your crimes if you wipe mine. It's like, no, that is not going to fix the issues
Underlying
happen
issues,
here.
not at all.
Just leave.
So
Please.
I've never been close to this. I've never cheated, and vows mean nothing, apparently. She also shared a lot of things she never told me, like her last grandparent passing away. In her words, he wouldn't care. Yes, I would have if she told me. She had no reason not to. I wouldn't have been so harsh about housework if I knew she was grieving. But no, go ahead, please. Don't tell me anything and then use it against me later, because that makes sense.
I disagree that he cheated. He coveted another man's wife. It was like, you need to be more like this, more like this, more like this.
Yeah.
And then emotionally manipulated her to do that.
Yeah. It's
You're
so
on the same
gross.
page.
It's, yeah.
I thought couple therapists were supposed to be neutral. Isn't their entire purpose bringing couples together and helping them understand each other? Since when do they call their clients manipulative? How is that allowed? By the way, if you want to be manipulated by us positively,
Yes.
you should listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app and just search OK Storytime. There's another relevant update. I'm just going to go straight into it.
Please.
So, anyways, back to the B wife. I can't forgive a cheater. She's staying with her parents for now as we are separated. I don't want her back in my house. It makes sense now why she didn't want to have spicy sleep anymore. We stopped going on dates. Our intimacy suffered, all because she cheated. Therapy was a waste of time and money, but I guess it was worth it in the end because I learned what kind of person she really is. She disgusts me. I did not want therapy, but I tried my best for her and to change. That is clearly not what she wanted because she cheated. I learned the information last month, and I finally have come to terms with it. As for my friends, I'm still cool with a few of them. Others clearly look down on me, so I don't interact with them anymore, but we don't eat lunch together anymore. I sit elsewhere now, and it's not too bad, honestly. I'm meeting new people. Maybe I'll find love again soon, but who knows? My witch in Espanol, my reputation at work in regards to personal matters is kind of crap now. Well, that's really it. Thank you all for reading. And we got a couple comments I'm going to read, but I don't really feel too bad for this guy.
I don't feel bad in the slightest. He needs more terrible things to happen.
Comment 1. Karma came to bite you in the butt. I do not blame your wife one little bit for cheating on you. Good for her. You deserved it because you are a harmful, disgusting human being who does not deserve to have anyone love you. Not pulling any punches there. OP responds, it makes sense. It makes no sense how you all are justifying this. Why not leave me? Why go to therapy with me just to cheat on me and see if I'll forgive you? How does that make sense? She only hurt herself more in the process. I've seen the vermin she slept with, and trust me, that's not much to speak of. I'm honestly embarrassed for her.
Oh my gosh. Another part of me, a lot of people were saying she didn't even cheat. She just brought up, you brought up that you watched Korn and then made her compulsively vomit. Maybe she just did that to see what you would do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't think cheating is good, but this guy definitely wasn't laying groundwork for a great
That is
relationship.
correct.
Comment 2, I don't know, mental abuse seems pretty on par, if not worse than cheating. For me, in comment 3, everyone told him on the last post that you can only chip away at someone mentally for so long before they recognize you're bad for them and move on. Then she does exactly that, and he's shocked and enraged and still can't look into the mirror to find any fault with himself. There's no way the cleaning was the first time he acted like a piece of poop. The way he described himself, smiling like a cartoon villain, that's someone who is very comfortable coming up with plans for manipulation. Good riddance. I'm glad your wife is going to get to live her best life, and I hope you contain yourself from the general public to minimize future harm. And that is where that story and this episode ends.
Oh, put him in a box.
Let's put him in a
So
box.
he can't talk to anybody.
Wow,
He will
that
eat
guy.
lunch alone for eternity.
That guy is terrible.
That is correct.
Yeah.
True statement has never been said. Andrea Mars, thanks for the $2. She 100% didn't cheat. He lied to play victim. I would not be surprised in the slightest.
Yeah, that man
what
is
happened.
a piece of poopy.
Yep.
Just remember, don't allow that kind of poopy in your life. You should only date people that bring joy and love to your life. Little rays of sunshine.
Bingo. That's
Like
what you
Allie.
do. What you
Shout
do.
out my girl.
Yeah.
But that is where this story and this episode ends. So if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you. And see you tomorrow.
I resent my husband because he left me when I needed him the most.
Oh, man.
We live in Europe, where I'm from. He is from the U.S. We've been together for 8 years, married for 3. He, 33 male, left me, 31 female, and the kids, 3-year-old boy and 9-month-old baby girl, suddenly because of an emergency. One of his parents was hospitalized and they thought they wouldn't make it. I was left out of all of the conversations about the details of the illness. After a few days, he took a one-way plane ticket and left for what ended up being 2 weeks. At the time, I didn't know how long he would be gone. While he was there, I barely heard from him. By the way, this comes from user Roman Ania. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, honestly, I didn't have the time during the day to ask for updates except by text, but I thought I'd get updates anyway. I constantly had to ask for news and I barely got anything. Yet he was closer to European time since he was watching over his parents at night. It made me so mad, but I didn't express it. I didn't want to make him feel worse. I understand the emergency and why he left, but our 3-year-old didn't. And I've been living in the lake of fire ever since. We also have a 9-month-old baby who I nurse and care for full-time while also trying to run my own business from home. I manage the house, the garden, and the pet alone. Even before he left, I was already severely sleep deprived because I've been the one doing the night shifts because the baby only wants to nurse at night, quote unquote. Yeah, sure. But then during the day, he works from home, but on U.S. hours. But when do I get time to work or rest? Never, except maybe when my mom can watch the kids for a bit. All of this happened right when my sister-in-law arrived with her first baby, 2 months old, my niece, the first baby other than ours in the family. I did my best to hide how exhausted I was so I could also help take care of her. I'm sensing a problem. My niece is so cute and tiny, and I love her. On top of everything, he's extremely disorganized and left a mess everywhere before he left. When I packed his quick suitcase, I noticed he barely had any clean clothes left. He had hidden 2 huge bags of dirty laundry in a bedroom. Why? I have no idea. That built up over a month or 2. He knows that I hate this kind of behavior. Why does he act like a teenager? Well, it sounds like he might be doing his laundry when he does it. Just a thought. I still kept a quote-unquote good face that first week because it was so important to me to meet my niece. I love my sister-in-law and my niece very much. I tried my absolute best to help her during the week. She stayed at our place while also juggling my kids, the house, and everything else. I'm so tired from holding everything together for a week and then being alone with the kids for another one. My baby is fine during the day but won't let me sleep at night. And my 3-year-old was devastated by the sudden departure of his father. He woke up crying and screaming at night, scared that I would leave too. He started wetting the bed every morning, something he never did before. It's been very hard. My husband took all this out on me like it was my fault. That made me so angry, but I didn't even have time to sit down and process how I felt. I had no time to rest. Each day got harder. The resentment kept growing. Thankfully, my partner's parent is getting better, so I started telling him how hard things have been here. That's when he decided it was time to come back. Our 3-year-old just started to act a bit more like himself again just a few days ago, right when we found out that his dad was flying back this coming Monday. My mom still works but tries to help a little after work so I can make dinner while she watches the kids, but that's it. My husband was gone for 2 weeks, but it felt like 2 months. What's hardest is that I can't even sleep to recharge. They both wake up at night, one after the other, and I can't ignore them, otherwise they'll wake each other up. Having them both awake at the same time is worse than dealing with them separately, and it happened a few times. It was a nightmare. Nursing also takes so much energy. I'm this close to stopping, but my 9-month-old refuses bottles. I think she may have a slight lip tie, but I can't investigate it. I'm drowning in responsibilities. My face muscles are twitching all day from exhaustion. My C-section scar still hurts often. Honestly, I feel allergic to life. I'm so tired that the only thing that sounds like rest is eternal sleep in a coffin. Okay, Nosferatu.
Wow.
To be clear, we know the problem here.
Yeah.
Cookie girl. To be clear here, we need to be talking about this. I bet you OP came up in a place where she cannot speak if she's like going through something. We need to do that. My husband comes back tomorrow and I'm struggling to feel sorry for him. I feel resentful that for 2 weeks he could just do whatever he wanted, even just have a warm coffee in peace in the morning, quietly. I'm someone who needs quiet and solitude. Being a parent has been so hard for that. I have a crazy talker kid. I'm never alone ever since I gave birth to him. It's been nearly 4 years of someone always near me, talking to me, touching me, and I can't take it anymore.
Oh!
I can't wait.
That's how I would feel.
So Riley, you're not ready for kids, right?
No, I would be ready for kids, but if that's probably how OP feels, so I'm expressing that.
Okay.
Yeah, that was.
No, I'm ready for kids.
That was the perfect noise.
If a kid happened right now, I'm taking care of it.
Not gonna happen.
We're
right
good.
now.
We're good though.
We're not pregnant, guys.
You're not pregnant.
I'm
we?
not pregnant.
Do you want to say we or you're pregnant?
Riley's pregnant.
But if I'm like, hey guys, we're pregnant, would that be weird to you?
That's how people say it. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, she's pregnant.
You're
I did
pregnant.
it.
We're both. Our bellies are connected. That's how it works.
I'll get the bottom half. You get the top half.
Okay, cool.
Like
Or
a
we
ma-
could do it right
like
down
a
the middle.
like a magician's
Yeah.
cabinet.
Here. You get the left side because you're more creative, and I'll get the right side of it. Of the kid. Since yeah, and then we'll combine that.
There we go.
So I can't wait for my second baby to go to daycare, and I feel so bad for thinking that. I know it's a rich people problem. I feel awful. I feel like I just can't win. Still, I would never do what he did, no matter what happened to other people. I would never do that to my kids. And we talked about this before. Maybe that's why he did it. He knew I would never leave them. I wouldn't leave them with him alone without planning everything around and having the home clean, etc., etc. Is that just a mom burden? And I should probably mention that when I gave birth to our second via emergency C-section, very traumatic, he never
wow.
took time off work. He didn't stay at the hospital with me, but now for his dad, he did. And for 2 weeks. His mom came to help with our oldest, and for him, that meant, okay, she's here to replace me.
Dang.
Like, I get it. Like, you can think all these things, and that's accurate, but if you're not expressing any of this to anybody, that's, what do you expect to happen? Like, if you don't express to your husband that you're losing it after 4 days,
Yeah.
like, why would he come home earlier?
I think the idea here is that it's like he's not showing up for her like people have before, and it's like you would hope that he would understand that she just had a kid and she's gonna
Right,
need
9
all of
months.
this stuff. Yeah. Wait, what?
The kid's 9 months old.
Oh.
The new kid,
Oh.
9 months old.
But she's still recovering from her like scars and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
C-section.
Yeah.
But it's like, if you're not expressing that you can't handle this ever, and you're also saying like, oh, my mom's here, him not being there for you during the C-section and being in the hospital is bad. I'm not trying to give this guy a pass. I'm simply saying that we need to express when we are at our limits.
Yeah. There's a solution here.
So I was left to recover from a major surgery alone with his mom and the kids. He buried himself in work, and now he talks like that time of working a ton was not worth it. I recently told him I still feel resentful about that. He apologized and said he didn't realize it at the time and felt like he had to do that. Well, it's not time that he can undo now. Resentment builds up, and even his mom was encouraging him. She installed a bed super far away from us in the house so he could sleep unbothered by the newborn. And by the way, I would be bothered if you didn't listen to full episodes of stories just like this on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Wherever you listen to your podcast, just search OK Storytime, and you can listen to the whole archive. Wow. On demand. Wow. Wow. There's a little bit more story here, you know? I mean, I think therapy, y'all. Y'all need some therapy.
Yeah. That's always a good solution to this stuff.
Being a parent is hard, and none of the thoughts that you're having are like wrong. Being like, God, I just wish my kid would leave me alone. Doesn't make you a bad parent. You don't really need to feel bad about that. Everyone just sometimes is like, God, I wish this thing would leave me alone.
Low key, I think you need friends that have friends, and the kids need, other friends to play with. So then you could be like, hey, go play with your other friends over there. Or then you bring them to your house and they're, have friends to play with. I think that might definitely help a lot too.
They're right at that age too. I mean, like 4. I feel like even play dates though, that's like still like supervised, like, the other mom or parents or whatever are probably going to come over. It's like once they start getting into like, I guess like they're in pre-K right now, maybe, probably. I mean, I'm not a parent. I'm just trying to think they are almost at that age where it's like you can kind of maybe go to a friend's house but even then it's like you've got the other one who's coming up right behind them. So now this whole bed installation fiasco happens and the resentment gets heavier. What's crazy is the house is actually less of a mess without him here. It's not crazy. He sounds like a teenager. He's hoarding dirty laundry. I clean up and no one is creating more mess without cleaning up after themselves behind me. I know I'm not perfect, and I know I'm probably overreacting, partly because I've been sleep deprived for months now. Maybe he didn't update me much because he didn't want me to worry more about his parent. But still, I can't unsee the fact that my life is harder, and it's always about making time for everyone else but me. I don't read, I don't watch anything, I don't play, draw, or paint. I barely see my friends. Every minute is for the kids or the house. Sorry for the very long rant, but I really need help figuring out how to let the "I'm sorry you had a hard time seeing your parent so sick" version of me win over the "how could you do this to me" version. Has anyone gone through something similar and come out with a stronger relationship in the end? And we have some comments. Comment 1, as a mom, I've been there. My advice is to forget the 2-week trip and start over. Make a schedule. He needs to get up some nights or give you a couple of hours to sleep during the day. He needs to help you with chores and cooking. 50-50. If not, you are close to a nervous breakdown due to lack of help, hormones, lack of sleep, total exhaustion. It's a bad situation.
Yeah.
OP replies, "You are very right. Thank you for this reply. I sometimes complain to my family, but all they see is how great he is, never his flaws, or they are nothing to complain about." Look, you're complaining to the irrelevant party. Complain to your husband.
Yeah.
Complain to the people who are relevant in the situation.
Yeah.
Come on. Even when I point them out, it's always, "but he could be so much worse. You're so lucky to have him." When honestly, I'm working a lot since the beginning of this relationship, and it looks like only him is the greatest, and I'm there. Maybe it's because I'm coming from a family of great examples, so the bar was so low. But from his side of the family, he is also the greatest, and how lucky you should be. From either side, it's never how lucky he is to have you, which I felt for a long time, except this past year or so. I've started to think, well, he is trying really hard to be that person in front of them. But they don't see everything. Am I just ungrateful? It feels good to be understood here, though. And that is the end.
I disagree with my boyfriend's ring choice cost because I want the more expensive one.
Then you should get the more expensive one.
My boyfriend, 24 male, and I, 24 female, have been talking about marriage, and we have different ideas about what a good amount to spend on a ring is. I'd be lying if I said my friends' rings didn't influence me, which are 10 to 12K. I've looked at some, keeping in mind that 10 to 12K is absolutely not an option for us, and I found a few that I like in the 5 to 6K range. Anything else, and I honestly don't care for them. I don't wear any jewelry ever. So in committing to wearing an item every day, maybe I've become unreasonable. By the way, this comes from Am I Being a Snob? And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I know this sounds awful, as my boyfriend has pointed out, but hear me out. I don't care about the wedding. I'm happy to elope or do a courthouse wedding, etc. And I don't need a honeymoon. I would be perfectly happy doing neither of those things if it wasn't in the budget. But when it comes to something that I'll wear every day for the rest of my life, I feel like it's not that bad for me to be picky. I've really bargain hunted and looked for styles that cost well below what I initially envisioned, and for now 5 to 6K is as low as I've found. My boyfriend would like to spend $2,000 on a ring. I've tried and tried, but I've not been able to find anything that I like within this budget. When I tried to explain this to him, he got a little defensive. Lately, he's accused me of being one of those girls who wants a wedding and not a husband, or a ring and not a fiance, or who only wants a nice ring to post on social media. I barely go on social media, by the way. My last post was in November. I explained that I don't even need a ring at all if what I like isn't in the budget. I mean, why spend $2,000 on something I won't like? We can put that $2,000 into something else for the two of us. He didn't like the suggestion at all. I suggested that maybe we wait a couple years, save up a little more. I mean, a girl wears this item every day for the rest of her life. That seems like a good excuse to wait a year or two. He hated that idea too. This is a question that basically says exactly what my boyfriend is accusing of. If it comes down to it, I'll let him pick out a ring for $2,000, but after the options I gave him, it really seems like a waste and like he was being unreasonable with a my way or the highway kind of attitude. So what do you think, Reddit? Am I being a snob? And there is an edit. Because some good questions have come up, here are some facts that I originally forgot to include. My boyfriend wants to buy a ring with stones of high quality. I do not care about the quality. I just sort of wanted something I liked the style of. He will not budge on the quality thing. Don't know why, so it's been difficult to find a ring of my preferred style that meets his quality requirements. I make more money than he does. I will be paying for 65% of the wedding and honeymoon. I have offered to cover the cost of the ring, but he declined. I think it's more about being old-fashioned, which I love him for, and I haven't been able to get him to budge on that either. And there are some comments, but I want to hear yours first. Do we think that she is being unreasonable?
I'm a little porn. Because she's saying, like, I offered to pay for it. I've got the money.
Yeah.
You know, I'm paying for a lot of the other wedding, which I understand. She's like, I want something that I'd like. I can afford it. On the other hand, I also understand his thing of being like, I want to do this one thing for you. I want to get something.
Right.
Yeah.
So there are some comments. Comment number 1 says, where are you looking when you see these $5,000 rings with poor quality rocks? My engagement and wedding ring cost about $1,500 with a clear diamond. Here's a suggestion. Seriously, go to pawn shops to look for band or rocks. With divorce rates being so high, there are a lot of good settings and rocks being sold to them. And the price tags are not even as close to the brand new jeweler's prices. Commenter number 2 says, another option, get the setting you want and don't get a diamond. Get another stone with the agreement that he can replace it with the real thing on your 5th year anniversary. OP says, this is a really cool idea. I mentioned one of the issues is him being so old fashioned, but this might be romantic enough that he goes for it. Also, maybe after he'll decide he doesn't care that much about the quality after all. Commenter number 3 says, does he believe you when you say you would be fine with no ring at all? Or is it possible that he thinks you will explode if he actually agrees with this option? I think it was a reasonable proposal. Also, there are plenty of people who just wear the wedding band and no ring at all for the rest of their lives. And if you consider fake diamonds or other stones, you can find a decent ring in the hundreds rather than thousands. This is a good question. Honestly, I've never lost my temper in front of him. I'm a generally calm person. So I don't think he has had any reason to think that. I believe he likes the idea of an engagement ring. I've made jokes about it, short of peeing on them. And like I said, if he absolutely won't go for the no ring idea, I'll just let him pick whatever he wants. It just seems like he wants to throw away the money. And there is an update, but I just don't think that that's true.
This is so confusing to me because it's like, it feels like he just wants to throw away the money and yet you want to spend more money.
Right. It's like, I guess that her argument is like, well, if I don't like it,
yeah, then why
like
wear it?
Why?
Sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is true.
So I guess, sure, that would be throwing away the money. But then if you're saying like, well, I guess I'll just let him pick whatever he wants. I just,
I don't quite understand either of your guys' arguments.
Yeah, because that last comment made it seem like she's now pro no ring idea.
Yeah.
So then it's like, okay, well then
why are you I don't understand. I don't understand.
So if no ring is an option for you, OP, maybe try to find like another ring that you'd still be okay with. There's a lot of, maybe if it's not like your dream wedding ring or like the thing you had your heart set on, maybe just open your eyes to some other options. It doesn't have to look like your friends, whatever those look like. I wanted to thank everyone for their comments. This topic divided people. The consensus from one half of the comments seemed to be that a girl should have no say in the ring and just be thankful for what her man picks out.
Disagree with that.
I disagree with that.
I disagree with that super hard.
Yeah. The other half said I had presented enough alternatives that I wasn't being unreasonable. And a few people compared an engagement ring to a tattoo in that you look at it for every day of your life. First off, a lot of people were asking about how much we make. And since it's anonymous, fine. My most recent employment contract will work out about $80K, but it depends on how much I'm willing to take on. My boyfriend makes $65K-ish, but it depends on the year, and in his field, he could easily surpass me one day. I'm not sure this is relevant, but I made the mistake of including monetary figures in the original post, so I guess I'll give it some context. Anyways, the cost of the ring was not a financial burden. I also had some private messages asking for general advice, wondering how I got an unsecured line of credit when I was younger. Perfect grades in high school, plus my former teacher who worked at the bank, I think stuck her neck out for me. I completed my education in a fraction of the time to diminish the loans, and subsequently, my bank gave me an incredible rate for my professional degree. All I have to say is do not let your current circumstances determine your future. And if anyone needs advice about how to get financing when you're homeless or otherwise unsupported by your parents, feel free to message me. I'll be sure to check these messages for another week or so. Anyways, we talked this morning and my boyfriend basically admitted that my making more money than him and paying for most of the wedding/honeymoon made him a little stubborn over the ring. He felt it was the man's job to pick out the ring. He laughed when he said it out loud, but I totally understand and feel terrible for even offering to pay for it. He apologized for accusing me of basically being a bridezilla and admitted his friends got in his head a little bit. I've heard some troubling comments from them about women, such as how they are only after money, etc. My boyfriend has noticed this too, but they are his high school friends and the bond runs deep. And there is a little bit more to the story, but okay.
It seems like you guys are talking it out.
Yeah, that's good.
I don't know if I can give you an exact answer because I understand kind of where you're both coming from, and it seems like neither of you are really know where you individually are coming from either. Yeah. Like both of your takes feel like kind of strange to me.
Right. But I mean, whatever works for you guys.
Whatever works for you.
As for what we decided about the ring, he suggested that I print off some pictures of a whole bunch of settings and styles that I like, and he will do the rest.
Okay, cool.
He will be deciding for himself what to get and what to put in the ring, therefore determining the ultimate price. He is still completely against me paying for any part of it or going for the no ring option. But honestly, I don't want him to spend $5,000 on a ring right now if I'm not allowed to help with it. However, after naming off some of the suggestions by Reddit users, my boyfriend is starting to like the sounds of a man-made,
the lab
man-made
grown.
diamond. Yeah,
Mhm.
which would be absolutely great because it would keep the cost down. I think the whole conflict-free / ethical aspect of diamonds hadn't occurred to him. I've started leaving sticky notes around the house of reasons why man-made diamonds are the way to go. Seems like you already
He's
told
already
him, but
agreed.
that's so funny. To be honest, I know nothing about them. If anyone has some fun facts that might persuade him, leave a comment and I will transform it into sticky notes. There are some quick comments. Comment number 1 says, hey, I'm sure you already had comments on this, but right now, man-made diamonds aren't actually that much cheaper than mined diamonds. They're about 20 to 50% cheaper retail, and you may be able to find mined diamonds for cheaper use. Growing lab diamonds is actually quite difficult compared to growing sapphire, plus a large part of the cost comes from cutting, which is also more difficult. So there's not much of a saving. I was the one who picked out my diamond just last month, so the knowledge is fresh. Man-made diamond simulants such as moissanite, white sapphire, cubic zirconia, or those diamond-coated ones, on the other hand, are a ton cheaper. If my fiance wasn't insisting on a lab-grown diamond since we both thought they were cool, this would have been the way to go for appearance of diamonds in the setting you like.
I do think it's funny
Just
that they're like, it's
say.
not that much cheaper. It's only 20 to 50% cheaper.
Yeah, it's like, well,
That's a significant amount.
that's pretty significant when we're talking in the thousands here.
I think my take on this is like, in terms of like how involved is your partner in picking out the ring. I would want my partner to be given a list of like styles that I liked from my friend. It's just a Pinterest page, and then they go based off that, and then they ask my friend, hey, what do you think?
Right.
I don't want to know, but I
Yeah.
also want to be heavily influenced.
Oh yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
I definitely I don't want to know exactly what it looks like, but I mean, my sisters went ring shopping with their partners.
I
and
think
so,
it makes sense for us. I mean, a lot of people do it.
Yeah, so I don't know though if that I kind of just assumed that didn't mean like they picked out the exact ring.
Yeah.
I just kind of assumed that meant like they were just seeing what they
Styles.
liked
Yeah,
and stuff. Yeah, because I feel like if you have a good idea of the style that you like, it's pretty easy to find.
I agree.
Figure out depending on the person. I mean, some people are just kind of that doesn't make sense to them, but yeah.
My wife got the disease and still tried to sleep with me.
Don't be giving me any of that, please.
I, 27 male, have been married to my wife, 29 female, for 4 years. Together, 8 years, and we have a son who's a toddler together. Around 6 or 7 months ago, I struggled with some mental and medical problems that made my libido drop to the point where we had a passed away bedroom for 4 months.
Oh.
About 2 months ago, my wife asked me to open our marriage because she was frustrated and disappointed in our bed life.
Oh, so it wasn't about like not getting enough happening. It was that she's probably unattracted to you.
She had also started acting cold around me before that point. At that point, I was very stressed and anxious, so I easily agreed to save our marriage. And we made some agreement. That's where you go wrong. You gave an inch, she's going to take a mile.
God, what are these agreements? I always love seeing these open marriage agreements and how they start off thinking they're foolproof.
Yeah, I know a few people who are like, who have tried to make it work or are in like a poly lifestyle, and sometimes they can work, but a lot of the time it just ends up with people getting hurt.
Yes.
She seemed to come back to normal, and I felt relieved. By the way, this comes from Irresponsible Man Dad 264. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. A week ago, she suddenly wanted spicy sleep with me again, and I slightly rejected because I'm still trying to improve my mental health. She broke out and we had arguments, which ended up with her leaving the house and staying with her sister.
Yikes.
After 2 days, my son started to ask about his mom. I felt awful because I had to lie to him. She didn't answer my calls or texts, so I tried to contact her sister, but got no answer too. On the third day, suddenly my sister-in-law contacted me. When I picked up, she yelled at me, called me all the names, and said I'm the AH for letting my wife deal with the STDs alone.
What STDs?
Yo, that's not the way you want to find out about this. You never want to find out about this, but certainly not that way.
And I bet you're the one that went around getting them, and you gave them to her. That's how the story went. Oh yeah, this is definitely what's about to be said.
Okay. I was frozen and said, "What?" She said she found medicines and medical records of my wife and hung up. I'm now feeling like a mess and heartbroken. After 3 days of thinking, it's not just that she betrayed our agreement about it, but it makes me scared. Was she trying to make me get an STD too?
Oh my gosh, she probably was.
I feel like our marriage is over, but our son is still very young. I don't know what to do now. Please give me some advice. There's an update, but let's unpack this. There's a lot to unpack here.
Dude, you know how messed up you have to be to have a dead bedroom, propose an open marriage, proceed to cheat without an agreement, get STDs, and then force your husband to sleep with you so you can give him STDs, so you can frame him to having the one to get STDs?
Depending on how serious it is, I'm pretty sure that's like a murder charge.
Really?
Yeah, because like you knowingly have this
Yeah.
that you're dealing with that could potentially kill you.
That's
and then you willingly
wild.
pass it along to someone and give them that
Oh,
disease. That is
oh man.
someone who's got legal background, correct me if I'm wrong. Sharing is not caring in this situation.
Yeah,
But
me.
correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure you could take someone, like you could criminally charge someone with that.
That's wild.
Like that, you're actively giving someone a disease.
Yeah, someone please confirm this. I'm gonna believe it. Yes, it is illegal. Thank you, Sophia.
Okay.
It is illegal. This is wild. That's good to know too.
Ooh-wee. Okay, here we go. Update. I did the test. I'm still healthy. Thank God. My doctor still recommends a few more tests next week to be sure. And we've got some comments from Ambroisy CY or Ambroisy Psy. I'm sorry, OP, but there are so many red flags, and none of those are coming from you. While you have mental and medical problems and try to deal with them, your wife decides to open your marriage and go sleep around instead of helping you get better and work on your marriage. Her spicy-related frustration is more important to her than your own health.
Oh.
That should have been your first and last clue that she's an awful person. Your wife asks you to have spicy sleep, but your mental health hasn't been improving and you deny it, within good reason, in my opinion. She lashes out at you and leaves you and the kids. She doesn't call any of you for 2 days. I mean, your freaking son doesn't understand where his mom is, and she just doesn't care at all. She found out she had an STD and is probably the real reason she left to her sister's house. To me, this is the apogee of disrespect. Not only she probably didn't take enough protections and clearly didn't care while sleeping with other men, but she tried to have spicy sleep without you knowing, and there was a possibility she had the STD. You're here trying to figure out if you are an AH for not being concerned about something you didn't know anything about. Seriously, OP, you need to open your eyes, not just your marriage. That's a fun line.
Banger.
NTA. I even thought of the possibility of her knowing fully she had an STD while trying to spicy sleep with OP, so she could accuse him of passing it to her afterwards, exactly like her sister did.
Ew.
Comments from Organic 2003. So you willingly opened your marriage, or was it forced on you? Open marriage rarely works. You should have known better. Didn't you even talk about STDs or pregnancy? Have any kind of plan? Everyone sucks here. The whole situation is a mess, and did she really try to give you an STD? That can be criminal in some places. OP. I don't know. I don't feel uncomfortable with her sleeping around as long as we communicate about it, but I do feel it got too fast and I should be more skeptical about it. We have made the agreement that she needed to make sure her partner was clean and always use the wrapper, and she insisted that I can trust her. She did say that if she got pregnant, she would immediately terminate. Best VDV driver said, we have an agreement that she needed to make sure her partner was clean. She lied here. Always use a wiener wrapper and insisted that I can trust her. She did say that if she would get pregnant, she would terminate immediately. So you'd have to be a damn idiot to trust this. Time to talk to a lawyer. OP said, yeah, I do feel like an idiot, and you are right. I always trust her because I loved her, but after this, I don't even know what I feel right now. I will think about a divorce after getting myself tested first. Thank you for your advice. We have an update, but let's
Oh my gosh.
let's sit with this a little bit longer. Do you think that everyone sucks here in this? I would say, like, maybe OP didn't practice the most, like, say in judgment and like wasn't protecting himself the most, but I'm not quite sure if everyone did suck here. I feel like OP was trying to save the marriage and like loved his wife.
I definitely the wife sucks.
Oh yeah,
OP,
no, absolutely.
I don't know. It's sort of like you're given a science exam, and you haven't like studied science. You're gonna do horribly, and that's what was done here.
Mm-hmm.
Who knew that I had to prepare for my wife getting STDs, and I had to figure out all these backup plans and be put on the spot by my sister-in-law? Like in that moment, you don't really know what to do, so that's why you're coming to Reddit.
Right.
I think he's not the a-hole. He figured it out. There's some things that are basic common knowledge where you you try and figure you're giving to this and all that. Let's look at this update here.
My wife, 29, just admitted cheating on me, and I am getting. Am I the a-hole if I wanted to leave?
Oh my god.
Yo.
Not that gonny.
6 months ago, I had some mental and medical problems that prevented me from having spicy sleep with her. She convinced me to get into an open marriage, and she had it for 2 months. Until 2 weeks ago, she suddenly wanted to be intimate again. And when I refused, she got angry and left. I couldn't contact her for a whole week until her sister called, accusing me of having an affair and giving her STDs. I immediately went to the doctor, and it was confirmed that I didn't have it. I tried to contact her sister again, but I was blocked by all her family. 2 days ago, she drove home for the first time to visit our son, who's a toddler, whom she had abandoned with me for more than a week.
Ooh.
We sat down and talked. She admitted she had known this person for 3 weeks before I agreed to open the relationship.
Oh my god.
All right, this was planned. Absolutely
it was planned.
I asked her about the STD that her sister told me about, and her face turned pale. I had to urge her a few times until she admitted that she has, and that the other partner had lied to her about his medical condition and protection methods, and he had already cut off contact with her. I asked her if she knew and wanted to infect me that day. She was silent for a few minutes until she burst into tears and begged me to forgive her, saying it was just a foolish thought and a panic and fear. I lost my temper and yelled at her and punted her out of the house. I said, "We're done. I'm feeling so many emotions, heartbreak or anger. I don't know what to feel anymore, but it's so painful. I was with her for 8 years, and I thought we would be together forever. My in-laws and our mutual friends all sent me a bunch of messages telling me to forgive her and that she knew she was wrong and already had gotten the karma. I should think about my son and how difficult it would be if I wanted to get custody of him. And they were right. I no longer have contact with relatives or anyone I feel I could rely on, so I feel very hopeless. What should I do? Can I forgive her after all these years and start again?" There's an edit here.
Oh man.
But
the part in vows and sickness and health, I think that was broken because whenever you were sick, you weren't able to satisfy all of her needs in that moment, and she went and betrayed you in that way.
right.
I think this is a
She also
wrap.
didn't help his sickness.
She didn't. She forced him into an open marriage,
And then added more sickness, or tried to add more sickness.
and I think that is just wrong in a lot of ways. At this point, I mean, I wouldn't. Not only did she cheat, she planned to infect you with a disease so she could plant it on you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'd call it a wrap at this point.
I don't see how the family or the friends, like, I see where they're coming. Obviously, they're trying to salvage this for the person they care about. But saying that she already had her karma, no, she didn't. Okay, maybe she got a consequence from sleeping around.
She got caught and I got a little embarrassed.
Yeah.
That's it.
But she didn't have any karma for trying to infect OP.
Mhm.
And her husband, there's no. There is no accountability here
Mhm.
whatsoever. So here's the edit. Sorry for some detail I did not clarify. In my old post, I made it when I didn't remember the full details about what my sister-in-law cussed me because I was shocked about my wife getting STDs. I did bring that to my wife in the conversation, and she admitted she did lie to her family that I cheated on her. Some comments, and here's from OP. Her sister did text me with an apology, but that's it. The others, they will just text something like, "I know you're very hurt right now, but your son needs his mom, and she's very remorseful right now. Please give her a chance to make it right." I didn't answer any of that. It made me feel anger every time I looked at it. Update 2.
Oh my gosh.
My wife 29, admitted she's cheating on me. 27, and getting, am I the a-hole if I wanted to leave? 16 days later. So this is a whole 2 weeks and change. We've had time here. So first of all, thank you for anyone who gave me good advice and kind words. I'm very appreciative of the support. Now, to my update. My wife and me are separating now. I'm currently hiring a part-time nanny to take care of my son while I'm at work. And even though I already cut back my work hours, I did find a lawyer to advise me about the divorce procedure and what I would lose after the divorce. He also said I needed to collect more evidence that my wife really wanted to infect me, though, which I think is quite hard because she doesn't want to talk about it. The charges we made, such as abandonment or adultery, seem like they might not work either. By the way, things that do work are full episodes of OK Storytime. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite platforms to listen to full episodes and just search OK Storytime.
Exactly.
Just like you could search for a good lawyer.
That's right. Actually easier than finding a good lawyer.
There's another relevant update, so let's get into it. My wife has started visiting our son 4 times a week now. She acts like a good mother and expects me to do couples therapy. Her treatment is complete. She said that she already closed the marriage from her side and is willingly setting the post-nup, however, if I want to give her the chance. Her family is still texting about how her days are miserable without me and our child. I kind of ignore them. I didn't block them in case things break down, so I still have a record. That's my update. I'm still getting used to the lifestyle of just me and my child. I have agreed to marriage counseling with her this Saturday, though I don't think it will change anything. And that's the end of the story.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to change anything either. I think she's already broken that trust. She's not remorseful that she did it. She's remorseful she got caught.
Yeah.
She's remorseful of what she's going to lose. She already abandoned you and your kid for a week.
Yeah.
She already tried to infect you. She already opened the marriage once. Who's to say she's not going to do it again once things settle down?
Ridiculous.
My husband suggested an open marriage, so I'm leaving him.
We're staying way open over here.
My husband, 28 male, and I, 29 female, have been together for 9 years, married for 7. We got not so classic shotgun wedding to give ourselves better chances of receiving custody of his half-sister, 10 female, when their mom suddenly passed away. Wow.
Oh, no.
Despite only being 20 and 21 years old, we did receive full legal custody over her absent father. This information isn't super relevant to the current situation, but it really sets the tone of our relationship with the sacrifices we made together and the things we each had to give up personally to raise this beautiful little girl. By the way, this comes from Hunty Bum. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, we don't have any children together, but his sister is now 17 and moved in with an older, more financially privileged aunt last year. Over the past year of this newfound alone time, I feel like we have flourished each personally and as a couple. We never fight, arguments are rare, and we are pretty good at coming to understandings and apologizing when necessary. It seems like they're probably around like 28 now.
Yeah.
Basically, I feel we have a pretty healthy relationship. We each do little things for each other. I receive flowers no less than 10 times a year. That's not that many times. We go on little vacations together and are generally really good. I guess a bit of the spark was sputtering out for a while, but I feel like that's normal for a relationship as long as ours. Fast forward to this past October. My husband seems like he's been depressed, which is normal for this time of year because of the timing of losing both his mom and dad in different years around the same time. Oof. The holidays are tough for him, so I get it and try to be there for him. I take his mental health very seriously. He sits me down to have a serious conversation and starts it by saying he wants to open up our relationship. I felt my heart drop to my stomach, but stayed silent and let him talk. He doesn't go into why, just jumps right into rules and explains how he wants me to find someone first before he starts looking for someone himself. When I asked him why, he couldn't explain it and fumbled his words. I asked him if he already had someone in mind for himself, and of course he denies it. I couldn't help it. I definitely blew up. I was totally blindsided by this proposal. I slept on the couch after my outburst, and he didn't even try to come after me to explain anything, which kind of made me feel worse. I had never felt so unwanted in my life than in that moment. I have never given the impression that I was the kind of girl to be open to an open relationship. I will never judge anyone for wanting to live that kind of life, but it's just not for me. He went to work the next day, but I had the day off and really thought about my situation. After crying for hours, I came to the realization that this was the end of our marriage. Wow. And how much of the relationship have they been married for?
I do not
remember that? Okay. Either way. Oof.
Yikes.
To go from,
I feel like it's been a long time.
I do think at 20 and 21, we're raising a 10-year-old. So
Yeah.
I think that really affects, your relationship because it can either bring it closer, but also they were really young. So it's
right. I mean, like she said, they both made a lot of sacrifices
Yeah.
and compromises to do that. And so maybe it's like at a certain point, just like nothing else you can do,
yeah.
Even
Even suggesting an open marriage was a deal breaker for me, I realized. While he was still at work, I moved all of his stuff out of our bedroom into his sister's old room, technically a spare room now. He comes home from work ready to talk it out. After talking through more of why he wants this, I've come to realize several things. He's way spicier than he lets on and is disappointed with our bedroom life. He knows I'm not on the same level and doesn't want to push me past my boundaries to try things he knows I won't like. When I asked how he knows I won't like to try these new things, he explains there are an escalation of things he already knows I'm not down for, but won't go into specifics. He's like, I can't talk to you about that, so I'm going to go into the thing I definitely know is going to make you want to break up with me instead.
Yeah, what? I
Yeah.
am not following this man's logic.
I don't
Well,
I don't
maybe he
quite get
just
it.
wants to, you put on jelly, he puts on peanut butter, and you both put it on your feet, and you guys just intertwine your toes. Maybe that's just something somebody might be into, but not him.
Not that I've ever had that thought.
That could, change the things in the dynamic of a relationship if you ask that.
He also is unhappy with how infrequently we have spicy sleep, but has never really put in the effort to change anything regarding it. Just complained over and over and expected me to just be ready to do the deed any minute of the day. He feels we have nothing in common now that his sister is gone. For context, he is more of the outdoorsy type, whereas I like to stay inside and read or play video games. I do venture out once in a while to do things he likes together, and do genuinely enjoy them myself when I go kayaking and skiing. I do understand that it isn't as often as he would like, though. Because we got married so young, there are a lot of things neither of us really got to experience or try, mostly spicy stuff. He is mourning the loss of his young 20s and never getting to sleep around and explore his spicy hobbies. Part of the rules he explained was that we wouldn't technically be sleeping around with whoever we wanted. He called it an open marriage, but described it more as polyamory,
Those are different things.
where we would each have a boyfriend or girlfriend of our own that we went on dates and did things together with. Someone we were each allowed to love and be with spicily.
So this is a very different offer that he's putting on the table.
I don't know OP, personally, but I gather she won't be into this.
Yeah, if she doesn't want to herself be spicy with anyone else, and she
Yeah.
doesn't want her husband to be spicy with anyone else,
Yeah.
I really doubt that she would be okay with that and emotions involved.
Yeah. No, he goes, no, you don't understand. We wouldn't just be having spicy sleep.
Yeah.
We'd also have emotional attachments to these people.
Right.
What do you think of that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
this just
man.
makes me think that he was born in the wrong country.
You think?
I think he was just in the wrong relationship. An emotional connection was pivotal for him, which broke my heart to pieces. During our talk, I told him I would never be able to look at him the same. I would never be enough for him, and he was basically trying to get a pass for guilt-free cheating in my eyes. I told him it sounded like he wanted to be with someone else without ever leaving the comfort of his marriage. Yeah, I mean, he literally told you guys have nothing in common.
Yeah.
That feels like maybe you should break up. Knowing he could date around and not worry if those relationships would fail because he could just come home to me. He tried denying these things, saying he wanted to explore himself spicily, but didn't want to lose me in the process. He tried getting me to agree to marriage counseling to talk about the open marriage concept. I told him just proposing an open marriage was grounds for divorce for me, and I wasn't willing to go to a counselor for them to gang up on me to try to bully me into it. I know in reality that never would have happened, but emotions were high in that moment. Because I told him I could never see him the same and how badly this crushed any self-confidence I may have had, he doubled down. He said if we go back into a relationship and pretend this never happened, then he would end up cheating on me. For him, it was open marriage or nothing. Well, I'm really liking option number 2, sharks.
Yeah, honestly. He's like, well, I mean, if you're not okay with it, I'm going to just sleep with people anyway.
He's
So,
like, it's either open marriage or bust. And she went, well, this is pretty easy for me.
yeah, it's like, cool.
And then he busted.
Yikes. I chose nothing. Divorce papers were filed exactly 1 week later. He was very hurt, angry, that I could jump right to divorce and punt him out of our bedroom so fast. But I refused to be a second choice or have to fight for his attention. I can't believe he's okay with the idea of another person being inside of me. He is willing to just give me up to explore his options. I can't believe I wasted so much of my time with him, helping him heal his family and raise his sister. I feel completely used. Advice: did I overreact? Should I have waited longer before filing for divorce? Should I have just gone to marriage counseling? Or was my gut instinct correct about the marriage being over? I still love and care about him, but my brain is screaming to be logical. We still live together while we're trying to figure out how to split everything, but now he's being super toxic and petty, saying hurtful things and then begging for personal details about my life. I need to get out of this house. How do I cope with these complicated feelings? And there is an update, but Angie, what do you think?
I mean, I think she's doing the good thing by divorcing
I agree.
him.
I agree. Trust your instincts.
Yeah, it really is the kind of thing, like, obviously this is a really complicated breakup, but it kind of seems like you still have to go through the same motions of a regular breakup.
Yeah.
Just, like, focus on yourself, focus on your career, on your hobbies, and eventually it'll just fade. Just keep yourself busy. That's always my go-to.
I agree. I think you guys were a little bit, like, trauma bonded when you started taking care of his sister.
Yeah.
And I think right now it's like, okay, we've come to the natural conclusion of this relationship.
Yeah.
He doesn't quite know how to let go, but he does want to let go, and so do you now.
Right.
So let him leave.
Yep.
Go find yourself.
Exactly.
Go live your late 20s.
Exactly.
Update. As for the update, where do I even start? It has officially been over the required 90 days since initially filing for divorce before it can be deemed official. I'm going to the courthouse tomorrow to file the remaining paperwork. We had an easy, uncontested divorce. We agreed on pretty much everything, and he didn't even give me a hard time about taking our 2 cats that are quite attached to me. He was always the spare human. I bought a small home for myself and said 2 cats and moved a few days ago. I'm impressed. You bought a home?
Yeah.
Dang.
At 28?
Dang.
Look at you go.
I won't lie, this whole process was very tough for me emotionally. It was especially hard considering he was constantly hot and then cold. He would jump from name calling and trying to control who came over to our house to finding reasons to call me on the phone all day and joking around with me like nothing was wrong. I feel like I have emotional whiplash from the last 3 months of living with him while looking for a new place to live. At one point, he came home to see me eating a meal I just cooked during a break from packing. It was pretty disorganized, but I was in the middle of doing multiple things at the same time. He saw the mess and started yelling at me for it and throwing my things around the kitchen. Calm down.
What?
Another day, he texted me asking me why I wasn't interested in where he had been spending his days off, and later sheepishly asking if he would drop the open marriage demand. Would I even consider trying again?
Oh my gosh.
Dude.
This man just wants OP to make all the decisions for him, but he knows exactly what he wants. He's just like, so like, listen, I got rejected a lot when I tried to hit on these girls. So like, if just like putting it out there, like if in another world I like stopped the open marriage, like, would you want me back? I'm not gonna like let go of them before you let me in, but
would you want me back? This is the start. Suggest the open marriage. OP says, even suggesting an open marriage is grounds for divorce for me.
Yeah.
Then he goes, is open marriage or nothing? She goes, nothing. He goes, okay, what if I took it back? She goes, did you not listen to any of them?
Yeah.
Of course, I told him we were way past that, considering the multiple times he promised he would cheat on me if we didn't open the marriage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Also, I did get STD tested and came back clean as a whistle.
Good.
I don't think he was already cheating, but he is dang embarrassed about this whole thing. He wants me to tell people he cheated on me when they ask why we're getting a divorce instead of telling the truth of the matter. What?
That's so crazy.
He's like, sorry, can you just don't tell anyone that I wanted the open marriage. Just tell
Yeah,
him I cheated.
yeah.
Don't
That's
tell him that you weren't. Don't.
Right.
He was made aware in advance that after I moved and the divorce was finalized, I would be going no contact. I did all the legwork to make this happen, including getting all divorce paperwork and 2023 taxes filed, separating all bills and bank accounts, hiding the address to my new home, blocked him on all social media, and I will even be changing my phone number once everything is finalized. Honestly, good on OP. He feels that me going no contact is vindictive. No matter what he has said and done to hurt me, I still have a lot of love for this man. He doesn't deserve it, I know, but that is exactly why I need to go no contact. It's for my own peace and to maintain some semblance of self-respect. I can't tell him that because I don't want to give him, or myself, to be honest, any false hope that we could work things out. I have no plans to be with anyone else in the near or distant future. I just want to work on building my confidence and get in a healthier mindset. I haven't gotten to counseling yet, like many have suggested. I was in survival mode for the last 3 months, so I could get out of that hellish situation. Now that I'm in my new house and getting unpacked, I'm sure I'll be able to relax enough to start feeling better soon. And if I don't, I have every intention of seeking professional help. I have a huge support network between friends and family. Our shared friends were all on my side as well. Not that there is a true right or wrong in a situation like this, but one of his best friends telling him this was the biggest mistake of his life was incredibly validating. The only thing I regret from my relationship with him is staying as long as I did, despite all the red flags I ignored throughout the years. I went into detail on some of them in the comments, and there's a little bit left to this story. Any final thoughts?
She's girl bossing it up over here.
Truly.
She's like, okay, bye. Changing my address, changing my phone number, changing whatever, all this kind of stuff. Like, and then everyone else is like, yeah, he really dropped the ball on this one. And she's like, yeah, I freaking know.
And he's like, tell him I cheated, please.
Yeah.
Little whiny baby man over here.
Oh my gosh. As if cheating is any better than this. Like, it's just so stupid.
I don't even know why he would want people to know that. Is he so embarrassed about his request? It seems like he really can't stand by what he's asking for.
Right. Or it also could say, too, that, like, he just doesn't even think cheating is a big deal.
Maybe that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. My take on it was that he's just so ashamed about, like, kind of so much in his life. Because he couldn't talk to her about the spicy desire stuff.
Yeah.
Like, he was too ashamed to talk about that. And then he brings up the open marriage. And now he's too ashamed for anyone to know that. So he's like, oh, just tell me I cheated.
It's exhausting.
It's more typical.
Exhausting.
But there's a little bit left. OP, you're doing great. Keep it up. All I know is that I'm feeling a mix of relief and grief. I just need time to allow myself to heal. Out of our many conversations, he told me that 99% of open marriages fail because they were open for failing marriages. And that since we have a great relationship, we would have been fine. I tried explaining to him that I learned from some of you guys that what he suggested was not an open marriage, but a parallel polyamory, and it was the most difficult form of polyamory to achieve. He didn't care and was only focused on convincing me to work it out with him. For me, there is nothing to work out. He wants to be with someone else and to fall in love again, so I'm giving him the freedom to do that, but gracefully stepping back. As many have said, you don't get out of your cake and eat it too. There isn't much more to say on the matter. I said I was leaving, and I did it. And that's the end of that story.
My wife got off birth control, and the side effects are ruining our marriage.
Ruh-roh. Maybe birth control's not the best.
My male 35 wife, female 32, got off hormonal birth control a year ago, and her personality underwent significant changes. At first, it was awesome, and our relationship was better than ever. Then things got complicated. She said that she is now unsure of our relationship, that she finds herself attracted to many other men, and finds herself annoyed with me. By the way, this comes from Throwaway BC Questions, and if you want to see my own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Riley.
And I'm Angie.
And I'm Keon.
Opie says, about 9 months later, she said she was second-guessing children, and we agreed to take some time to reevaluate that decision. In the last month or so, things got worse. She started being annoyed with me more frequently and genuinely not wanting to spend time with me. We are both scared about the new, uncertain future. I'm hoping to see if anyone else here has experienced similar changes in feeling after stopping birth control and what we might expect moving forward. My wife and I are in our mid-30s. We have been together for 8 years and married for 5. A year ago, my wife stopped taking her hormonal birth control after being on it for 15 years in order to start for having kids. Almost immediately, her personality started changing. She was more vibrant, more excited, was having more fun. We had a big discussion where she told me there was a part of her that wants to end our marriage, that she is inexplainably annoyed with me frequently, is finding herself strongly attracted to other men, and feels like a different person. We are both obviously scared. She's been seeing a therapist, and I've signed up to see a therapist as soon as possible, as well as trying to get on the schedule for couples therapy. She's also trying to figure out what kind of doctor she would speak to about the changes in her brain chemistry and what to expect moving forward. The reason I'm posting this is to ask if anyone else has experienced experienced this similar thing before. And if you have any insight as to what we can expect moving forward, we got some comments. Dude, this is a juicy one. I love talking about women's hormones and how overdramatic they are. They're the best.
Oh, yeah? How
Yeah.
over dramatic they are?
We got comment 1 here. Yeah, this is something I keep hearing about. So she was on birth control when you met her, dated her, and got married, right? So the hormones she was on when she became attracted to you, she's no longer on. Now her own hormones are in a sense logging on, and this is where the problem begins. The best analogy I can say is for 15 years, the hormones let her feel like she loved mint ice cream, and now the hormones are gone. She doesn't know how she feels about mint ice cream. She might like chocolate now, or caramel,
Just talking about ice cream flavors, right? Yeah.
or vanilla bean. There are a lot of women reporting no longer being attracted to their significant others once they are off birth control. I know someone who was on birth control, married a man, and when they got off of it for a baby, she then realized her type of men was 100% different than the man she married. They worked through it, and once her own hormones leveled out a bit, she fell back in love with her husband. But this is a side effect of this medication that no one knew about, and I wonder how many more women go through this and don't realize it is due to the hormone change. As a doctor, I agree with this message.
Yeah, I mean, birth control really messes with you and obviously has different like effects on other people and different strengths, I guess, in with these changes. But yeah, I mean, that makes sense if like, you know, if things might get messed up just for a little bit because the change in hormones is pretty crazy. Yeah, hopefully if she's off of it right now, they kind of, I don't know, let the hormones settle. Hopefully she does like fall back in love with him the way that she used to. And she didn't say that she's like not in love with him, but you know what I mean? Like the
Yeah.
same attraction.
Update. During this time, I had noticed my wife being on her phone nearly constantly, like 10 hours a day. This is not a good update. We need to know what app she's on.
Yeah, I guess that would be important.
I know this is normally a red flag for cheating, but she has a low level of phone regular use our entire relationship, so it wasn't entirely new, just a new level. I could always see what she was doing, and 90% of the time, it was watching Instagram Reels. She started neglecting basically everything. Her hobbies, her job, cleaning up after herself. Oh no. Given that it was winter and she has a history of mild seasonal depression, I thought it was just depression up a notch. She started taking Lexapro, which helped for a bit but quickly stopped working. Eventually, she called me and said that she thought her Google account was hacked and asked me to come home from work and help her change all her account passwords. When I came home, she asked me not to talk in case they had access to her microphone and asked that we write out all communication until we got the passwords changed. Thought this was weird, but I'm a bit paranoid about digital security, so I went along with it. Though I did text her sister to let her know that what was happening and it might be a red flag. What was really happening from her perspective was far more concerning. She believed the guy she knew had been sending her subliminal messages via various social media sources for months. As an example, she believed certain Instagram reels that came from her feed were messages from him. When I asked how she thought he was influencing her feed, she said that if he liked something on it, it would be more likely to show up on her feed, which I do agree with.
Well, sure, but I mean, with all the people that you follow, I feel like the percentage is kind of rare unless you're sending him a lot of messages.
Oh yeah, agreed.
Unless
Because
you're interacting with him a lot.
I send you a lot of messages and we go back and forth, and I get a lot of fashion stuff on my stuff sometimes.
Yeah, same. Like when I'm scrolling, I'll see your little picture at the bottom saying that like you liked it, you know? That'll happen sometimes too.
Have you been getting a lot of recipes for food recently?
I've gotten some, but I usually scroll past them.
That's me.
So
There were many other examples like this, some more absurd. Eventually, she started to believe that more people were involved, including big meme Instagram accounts with hundreds of thousands of followers. She eventually believed that her phone had been hacked and they were monitoring everything she was doing. This is called Red Bull Ron O'Reilly. Schizophrenia can be dormant for years until you're in your 30s when it's present itself, but that could be a possibility. Also, the way the algorithm works is if you like something, it's like sending it to a bottomless cave that you like something and it's going to echo back things similar to it.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. If you like one basketball meme, you're probably going to get 3 more sent to you
No way.
while you're scrolling.
I thought it was just reading my mind. Wow.
Things came to a head when she believed she was being actively threatened and hallucinated a threatening message in her notes app. When that happened, she came to me and told everything that she thought was going on. When my wife came to me with what she thought was happening, it was pretty obvious to me that something was seriously wrong. I called a psychiatrist who confirmed What was happening was textbook psychosis. Fortunately, my wife had kept an extremely detailed journal of all the events that had happened, real or imagined, and asked me to read through the entire thing. The journal made very little sense with almost dreamlike logic in many places. For example, page 32 might end saying, I wonder if Bob is involved. Then on page 33, it continues as it's proven that Bob is involved, as if things came true as soon as she thought them. Going through the journal together page by page and untwisting the logic, I was able to get her to see that she was at least partially experiencing psychosis, but she still believes some of the monitoring was real. Just a note, we found out later that this was not a good idea. While it worked, in our case, apparently it's just as likely for the person in psychosis to experience more delusions that just accommodate the inconsistencies you point out. Dude, who knew we were going to get into the cheeks of some psychosis here?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it started off just being like, you know, hormonal issues and stuff, and now it's just like completely taken a left turn. And I mean, I wonder if they mentioned to this doctor about her coming off birth control. I feel like that would be important to at least keep in mind. It probably is still psychosis, but I would just, you know, keep that in mind here.
Yeah.
See how that might be affecting it.
Yeah, I don't know if this is true or not, but I recently also, it's crazy that we gave women, you know, birth control and nerfed them. I also realized that the QWERTY, the keyboard, some dude nerfed women because they were typing too fast and then made the QWERTY so they wouldn't type as fast.
What do you mean? Like,
Some dude at Trader Joe's was telling me this. I was like, what?
like he changed, like, because women were typing
So
out
like,
and-
whenever the typewriter was around, they had a different combination of the keys.
okay.
It wasn't alphabetical. It was like, I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
But the women were typing so fast and breaking world records, they were like, we got to change this to QWERTY so they can slow down.
Oh my gosh.
And we do not use optimized keyboards, and it is pissing me off. We were able to get a psychiatric appointment almost the next day with a friend's help, but it took about a month to rule out any physical or medical causes of psychosis. To get diagnosed with delusional disorder and start an antipsychotic medication, the psychiatrist slowly worked her up on a therapeutic dose, and my wife has not experienced any delusion episodes for several months now.
Good.
My wife tried to confront the other person several times. He obviously had no idea what she was talking about, told her such, and asked her to leave him alone. If you're familiar with psychotic disorders, though, this had no effect on her. He would tell her to leave him alone. Then she would see an Instagram reel she thought was a message from him and think, why is he sending me messages after telling me to leave him alone? My wife had actually been in therapy the entire time and had told her therapist most of what she had thought was going on. She was incredibly frustrated that the therapist didn't pick up on the psychosis symptoms. She had switched therapists. Things were extremely rough the first month or so after everything came to light. Neither of us slept well, and she needed constant monitoring as she had passive passing away wish. I used most of my paid time off, and she went on family medical leave for a few months. Where things stand now, our relationship has and continues to recover. She's once again excited to be with me, and all of the new annoyances she felt are completely gone. She still has struggles with her mental health, but obviously that has to be expected as she recovers. She mainly seems to be shaken by the fact that all of that stuff that seemed so real was fake, and that she lost so much time to it. She also struggles with feeling isolated because people don't understand what it was like to go through psychosis and recovery.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
Makes sense. Yeah. That's probably got to be so incredibly confusing to you and such like a unique experience. I mean, it seems like it might be embarrassing to talk about too, of like, I just thought this was happening and it completely was not.
Yeah.
You know, but it's like it's a disorder. Or
Yeah.
it's a mental health problem. So yeah, that's hard.
In terms of one of the main problems from my original post, where she said she didn't think she wants kids anymore, after a few months, she came to me and said that she does want to try for kids again. By the way, you can try it out with us kids on your favorite podcast platform by searching OK Storytime on iHeartRadio, Spotify, or Apple, and you can listen to stories just like this for as long as your heart desires. We have a little bit more to go here. Any other thoughts, Keon? Have you ever seen anything like this before?
No, nothing like this. I kind of had an experience with my mom when she had like fibromyalgia and like going through like a big turn of events in her life.
Mm-hmm.
And she did, you know, get a little bit more bipolar, but nothing like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
where I was like, whoa. One moment she's like, oh, what do you guys want for dinner? And then the next moment it would be really, really intense of like, no, I'm not cooking dinner for anymore for you guys. Like all this. And like, it was very intense. And the best thing you can do is like, you got to understand and like, yeah, it's frustrating, but you can't get angry at them kind of thing.
Right.
You got to be like, try and be in their shoes kind of. It's really hard to. And even in the moment, like emotions are all high and you're like, Jesus, this is ridiculous. But you could be like, okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's rough.
So OP ends this with, for those curious about the specific conditions, this involved erotomania and percusatory delusion.
Persecutory, I guess, yeah.
Thank you. Having now looked into these conditions, it's eerie seeing how similar other people's stories are, including the means of communication and the progress from erotomania to persecutory delusion. The patterns are remarkably consistent across different cases. What started as concerns about hormonal birth control changes turned into something none of us could have predicted. The lesson here is that sudden personality changes, especially when combined with unusual beliefs or behaviors, should be taken seriously and evaluated by mental health professionals. Early intervention can make a significant difference in both the severity and duration of these episodes. I like the way that one ended. My terminally ill ex-wife cheated on me, and now she wants me to play husband?
This is uncomfortable.
Backstory, I met my ex when we were both 10. She is my twin sister's best friend. We've always been kind of a trio growing up. We started dating at 14 and got married 23. Things got ugly though, because 5 years after getting married, she told me she had a month-long affair with her co-worker. Apparently, the guilt was just too much for her, so she confessed. By the way, this comes from Throwaway EXTYZ, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to r/OKStorytime subreddit. So we tried to work through it, but after a few months of trying, I knew that despite the fact that I loved her, I couldn't trust her anymore. She told me she still loved me and that she'd wait for me, prove that I was the only one. I wanted to believe her, some things just can't be fixed. We never had kids. 3 years after the divorce, I met my now wife, 38 female, and we got married 2 years after dating. She's everything I could have ever dreamed of in a wife and more. My ex, as my sister told me, they're still besties, never really recovered. She quit her job and is now working in a church. Throughout my relationship with my wife, kept trying to get back together, and on the day of my wedding, she told me she still loved me and would love no one else. She said that this was the last time she would ever bother me, but that she'll wait for me however long it took. Apparently, she's honest in that regard, at least, because my sister says she's never been with anyone since. So here's what happened recently. My wife and I, married for 7 years now, have 2 kids, 7 female, 3 male. My sister came over with her own kids so the cousins could play. While my wife was out to pick up lunch, my sister sat me down and told me the situation about my ex. Apparently, she has less than 6 months to live. She refused treatment and wants to live the last few months to the fullest. I guess that's why her and my sister really went out of their way to travel despite the pandemic. One thing on her bucket list, though, was that she wanted to feel like my wife again. No spicy sleep, no kissing. She just wanted me to be around the house. She still lives in the house that we lived in. And again, maybe I hold her from time to time. I told her I wouldn't do that because that was pretty much emotionally cheating. My sister kept arguing and begging me to at least see her and hear her out. We kept arguing, no screaming. Kids were in the next room with their older daughter till my wife came back. My sister told her the whole story, and while she looked upset, she said she understood where my ex was coming from. When my sister left, my wife and I talked about it. My wife knows everything that happened in the past with my ex. She says that while she isn't thrilled about the idea, she won't get upset if I decide to see her on a regular basis. My wife is literally the best thing that ever happened to me, and I love her more than anyone. She makes me happier than I've ever been in my life, even in the good times with my ex. She knows I won't cheat. I also have zero romantic interest with my ex, so there's nothing lingering there. I don't hate her or anything. It's just that the love I had for her long last since passed away. After thinking about it for a while, I'm honestly 50-50 about it. I know I don't owe her anything, but I feel like I might regret not seeing her at least one more time, since the last time I saw her was on my wedding day, and that wasn't a good encounter for either of us. Unless you count the times I occasionally see her in the store or something. I honestly feel like, despite what she did, she still deserves to go with some peace. On the other hand, I'm not entirely sure if this might potentially affect our marriage. My wife says she's okay with it, and I believe her, but I just can't be sure that she feels the same way after it happens. I don't want to jeopardize anything, that I have right now. No matter what, I'm not thrilled about going myself, to be honest. Any advice what I should do?
I think you just really need to figure out how to say no. Because I really do think that that's like where my brain is having trouble with this is like, well, how do you not? Like if this is literally her like last wish, then how do you just say, no, I've already got someone? Like,
yeah.
But I mean, I guess you can't hold yourself responsible for her like emotions like that, like you were saying.
Yeah.
And so even if she like, if you say that and reject that idea and then she starts crying or something like that and has a hard time, it's like, well, what do you want me? Like, I have my own life. I can't keep coming back to you because I guess that is important. The fact that she like went to him on his wedding day with his new wife to try to break them up is like, okay, now you're gonna be doing this till your last breath, trying to break up our relationship. It's not cool. Well, even if she said she wouldn't do it again, I feel like she still did it.
Yeah.
And here she is.
Doing
here
it
she
again.
is doing it again.
You're right.
You know?
Edit. Just want to add that if I ever do this, I won't be acting like a husband or anything inappropriate like that. Just going to see her and talk for a bit. My sister says that me just being there and sharing a meal with her would be more than enough for her to feel like we were married again. Here's what happened. Many of you guys suggested I talked to my wife. We had a long discussion about the whole situation, and I assured her that no matter what she is, always be my first priority. I also assured her that I wanted to say my goodbye, and I would never act like her husband. It would be more like being a childhood friends or something like that. I also told her I would never spend the night nor be alone with her. She was more than comfortable after our talk and was pretty okay with the idea of me seeing my ex again. As you guys guessed, she really felt like she was forced to be okay with it when my sister asked, but this time she really was okay. So I talked to my sister, and after a long, heated discussion about what my role would be in the visit, she agreed to the boundaries my wife and I set. A week later, my sister came over to our old marital home. It was surreal because while the emotions from years before came back to me, I didn't feel any sadness nor hatred nor negativity. I saw my ex, who was waiting for us in the living room, and she cried when I walked in. Most of you suggested she was faking it. While she was still strong, you could tell almost immediately something was wrong with her. I indulged her with a hug, and we talked for a few hours while my sister made lunch. I showed her pictures of my kid and told her stories about what they were like. Honestly, I didn't know how I would react after I saw her again, but this just feels like seeing an old friend you haven't seen in a long time. There was no hate or anything like that. I walked around the house, and it was pretty much the same way I left it over a decade ago. I'm not really sure how I feel about our wedding photos still framed and our pictures of us still all over the house, but it wasn't really my place to say anything. 3 of us had lunch, played board games all afternoon, and honestly felt like we were back to when we were kids. Just the 3 of us would hang out together. It was nice. That does sound nice.
That is nice.
Because they were like childhood friends.
Yeah.
I left around 6. She was sad, but she understood. When I hugged her goodbye, she whispered, "I love you" to me. Said how she's happy I was able to find the happiness she couldn't give me. That part got to me, to be honest, and I was fighting back tears. I told her I'd see her again soon. She asked if I could bring my kids next time. I told her I would and left to pick up dinner for my family. Told my wife everything that happened, and she was quite happy about the outcome. I guess it helped that I brought home her favorite food, but she also agreed to let me bring the kids next time. And what dinner you can bring for us is just go to your favorite podcast, ordering one of our only stories that we have on your favorite podcast platform, and eating that and eat it with us. Overall, it was a great experience seeing her again. Feel like I needed that and would have regretted not doing it again. I also like to thank everyone who gave me advice. Also, please don't roast my ex too much. She made a mistake and paid the price, but it doesn't mean that she's an evil person. This will be my last update. Thank you all very much, Reddit. And that is the end of that story.
Yeah, definitely not like a price that she would deserve for all that.
Yeah, no.
Definitely not. But, you know, she's dealing with enough. Reddit.
I'm just saying, if she's anything like my ex, I hope to God you would say no.
I
guess we'll
depends.
see. I guess we'll see.
Because, you know, this was a nice situation, and I think part of it is for OP too. You know, I don't think that they're doing this just for the ex-wife. I think
it's like a final goodbye.
Yeah, for OP, and because this was still like, even though, you know, she cheated on him and got crazy and stuff, they were still childhood best friends, and with his sister too. So maybe it can be some sort of like satisfying closure to that portion of their life too. You know?
Agreed.
My husband lied to me to make himself look like a better man.
That's my quip. Just a thumbs down.
I, 25 female, have been married to my husband, 26 male, for 3 years. He has 2 male friends from a job he used to work at who are both also married. Let's call them Holden and Cameron. By the way, this comes from Expensive House 323 on the r/2hottakes subreddit. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/okstorytime subreddit. So, he has been friends with them for around 2 years. And since then, we have all moved to different states. These are friends that he has had over for adult sodas here and there, but mainly they like to call, text, and play video games on some weekends. I personally do not like Cameron. This is because he isn't respectful of his wife. They all used to have a female coworker that Cameron would constantly hit on and try to ask out. He would tell my husband how much he wanted to sleep with her, despite him having a wife and daughter at home. I told my husband he should let the wife know, but neither of us had her contact information as we had never met her in person. When he moved to a different state, his wife stayed behind since it was only going to be training for a few months, and that's when things got worse with him. Cameron had informed both my husband and Holden that he had told his wife he wanted a divorce and did not want to have any custody of his child. Yikes. This turned out not to be true, as his wife had no idea he was planning on leaving her, and instead he had been ghosting his wife, not responding to any calls or texts for weeks. I was not shy about my dislike for Cameron and did tell my husband that he was no longer welcome in my home and that I was no longer comfortable with them hanging out together, which my husband was just fine with since they really didn't hang out much to begin with. They would still occasionally play games online together and text on a group chat that a lot of their old coworkers still had. Holden had also told us that Cameron had gotten on dating apps and began sleeping around with multiple women. He even went as far as to send Holden a video of him having a ménage à trois. This was the straw that broke the camel's back. Holden felt disgusted that he was sent this video without consent, and his wife was livid, understandably so. After this, Holden decided to drop Cameron and go no contact, no confrontation or anything.
Okay. All right, Holden.
Ghosting him like Cameron was doing to his wife.
Dang. A little crazy. A little crazy.
I don't think those two are the same. I feel like OP's trying to create comparison. I don't think those two are the same.
I don't know if they were trying to create a comparison so much as just like a zinger.
Oh,
You
like
know?
Cameron. Yeah, I see. Could be. Yesterday, I had asked my husband if he was still talking to Cameron, and he informed me that he was not. He went on and on about how Cameron hadn't even reached out to him because he made himself clear about how he was not okay with what Cameron was doing to his marriage and all the heck he was putting his wife through. He said he had more of a spine than Holden did, since Holden wouldn't even inform Cameron that they were no longer friends.
Dang.
I don't think you need...
We didn't need to throw shade on Holden.
If your friend sends you just a super explicit, disgusting video, I don't think you need to be like, hey, dude, that wasn't cool. We're not friends anymore. I think you can just drop him.
Yeah. Well, plus, and like we were saying,
Yeah.
if this is in fact the lie, it feels like he's starting to do too much about being like, and Holden was a cow.
Yeah. Coward.
Unlike me.
I'm a real man. Today, my husband gets a call from Cameron. The call was nothing important in particular, but what really threw me was how Cameron was not acting like anything was different between my husband and him. Maybe because nothing is different. He mentioned that Holden hasn't spoken to him in 2 weeks, and then the call pretty much ended there. I then asked my husband if him and Cameron still talked, and he admitted that they still do here and there. I felt hurt. To be clear, I did not care if my husband was talking to Cameron. I wasn't the biggest fan of the idea, but he's an adult, and as long as he wasn't hanging out with him, that was good by me. However, the fact that he put on a big show about how he was more of a man than Holden because he stood on business when Holden wasn't willing to, and that Cameron felt too embarrassed to even reach out to my husband because he knows my husband's standards, only to actually be talking to him and not ever telling Cameron that he has issues with what he's doing in his marriage, it felt like such a sham.
Yeah.
I got upset and told him he was all bark and no bite, and that at least Holden actually stood on business because he at least followed through with what he said he was going to do. And that for this, I respected Holden more than him. Ooh, that's going to really get to OP's husband.
It's fair, though. It's also at this point that I'd like to point out my earlier quip of haven't we all been there? I have not been here. When I said I lied to make myself look like a better man, that's like, yeah, I'm good at bowling. And then I absolutely just am ruined on the lane.
Yeah,
none of this.
That you have stayed friends with a gross, dirty...
I said, yeah, I've read Pride and Prejudice.
This really upset my husband. He said he didn't like that I insinuated that he wasn't a man of honor, Q Hamilton, and that he felt emasculated with that statement. It's just going to be say no to this on repeat.
I don't know. Maybe you should have been a man of honor.
Yeah.
If you want to be called a man of honor,
Maybe you should have been one.
you kind of have to act honorably.
That's kind of the first step. He told me that if I respect Holden so much, that I should go and F Holden then. Which is not something my husband has ever said to me, and it really hurt that it went there. I think I may have been too harsh with what I said.
No.
But I don't appreciate being lied to or being talked to like that. He is still hurt by the statement that I made, and now I don't know what to do. I don't like feeling like my husband is condoning this behavior from his friend. He is. But what really bothers me is him trying to make himself look good and putting down his other friend when he wasn't telling the truth about the situation. So what do I do from here? And am I the a-hole? There is an update, folks. But what?
I go to my second quip, which
Yes.
I stand by, which is
Yeah, big old thumbs down.
big old thumbs down.
For all our podcast listeners. Riley just
oh my
hit a
god,
big old thumbs down.
I forgot.
I think OP is a little bit too chill about the fact that he's even talking to this guy.
Yeah, this is bad.
This is bad. Like,
Not
this is
the
guy who-
a-hole.
Yeah, no.
It's pretty clear as the a-hole here.
Very clear. Very clear. I just think that you need to have that conversation with your husband and say, hey, it doesn't look great for you that you're still talking to a guy who's actively cheating on his wife. Don't want to tell his wife about this. Because, I mean, honestly, he probably could get the wife's contact information if you really wanted to.
I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna hit the breakup button.
I'm
gonna
wow.
yeah. I think especially after when he's like, why don't
Yeah.
you go marry Holden then?
Yeah.
Except in more crass terms.
Mhm. You're
I
done.
don't like that.
I don't like
I
that.
don't like
one
that.
bit. They are married.
I'm sending her to Australia to get married to the Australian couple. now.
Right.
I'm sort of playing matchmaker now with these. Is
We're
what I'm
swapping
doing. Is
them
I'm gonna
around.
pick all of the wives
Yeah.
out because that's usually the people
Yeah.
who I think can work it out.
Yeah.
And I'm
sure.
just gonna have them get married
Yeah,
instead.
in Australia. To answer some questions and things I saw in the comments, Holden and Cameron were friends with each other for a few years before my husband met either of them. Holden was the closest with Cameron, and my husband was closer to Holden than he was to Cameron. I've only met Cameron twice, both briefly when he came over to our house for some adult sodas and video games. My husband has never hung out with him outside of work besides that, and when they would go to work out at the gym that their work had. Neither my husband or I had Cameron's wife's information. I did try to find her on multiple social media platforms, but her name is very common. And since I have never seen her before, it was hard to locate her. My husband does not have any social media besides YouTube. I do want to preface that I have never told my husband that I did not want him texting Cameron. Was I a fan of the idea? No. But he's an adult and free to make his own choices, and so I never even had asked him to. I did, however, say that Cameron was no longer welcome in my home. My husband saw no issue with this and agreed. This is something that is not really a factor for us anymore. Anyways, since we have moved away, so they never see each other in person and haven't for months. My issue was the fact that he had lied to me about not talking to Cameron and went to bash his other friend when there wasn't any truth behind that, not the fact that he was messaging Cameron. Now, for the update. My husband and I did sit down and talk with each other earlier today, and while I feel like we both have a bit more we need to discuss and work on, I feel like we are making a good start with things. Okay, I think easy solution, we get this guy more friends.
I'm deeply skeptical.
Me too. I think he just
deeply
doesn't have enough friends.
skeptical.
I think he's only got 2 friends.
I mean, with the way that he's acting, I just can't get over then. Well, then you should go F Holden.
That's
I
crazy.
can't let go of that. Any update?
I think
I'm
OP's
just
let
like-
go of it too quickly.
Yes, agreed.
I apologized for comparing him to Holden and for not being mature in how I discussed my anger. I also apologized for saying I respected his friend more than him in the moment because I really do have a lot of respect for my husband and have always thought highly of him. I am not someone who likes to discuss things when my emotions are high, and that got the better of me. It is something I am going to be a lot more conscious of from here on out and really try to work on. He apologized for making things seem one way when that wasn't really the truth. He did say that he had told Cameron that he did not like hearing about all of his escapades, trying to live a single life while still married, and that Cameron had stopped messaging him about that specifically. So that's totally different than calling your friend out for doing that. You just told him you don't want to hear about it. You're the military right now. And you just said, don't ask, don't tell.
I'm going to send all of these people to
Yeah.
the woodworking Reddit.
Yeah.
I think that's really.
I think they.
I'm gonna go to a cabin in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
Don't talk to anybody.
Build a
Woodwork
cabin.
for a year. Come back a better man.
I like it. I like it. That's the only true way that you become a better man. But he did admit that he never went further than that, such as telling him that he wasn't wanting to have a friendship game with him. Oh, sorry, friendship, game with him, etc. and that they were still occasionally messaging about other things. He also apologized for the "go F Holden" comment and said that he did feel emasculated because he has been struggling because he thinks his testosterone levels are lower than he wants them to be. Both his dad and brother have low testosterone. He said he has been wrestling with the idea that he has low testosterone for months now, and how he feels like he's less of a man because of it.
This is what I mean. This is what I said about all the other stories too, is that these all sort of devolve into being like, let me give you 6 million specifics and situations and ideas. So it's like,
That makes no sense. A couple months ago, he started thinking about his testosterone levels. He's like, I don't know, they just feel low. I haven't actually gone to the doctors about this, but I don't know.
I just love how every update, it's like the first part is always like, oh, like Mother's Day didn't go
Yeah.
out planned. And by the third update, we're like, well,
the
so he grew
testosterone.
up on a farm.
Yeah.
And what you really have to consider is that there's always just.
There's layers, man. There's layers. For some context there, he fits all the symptoms for it. Our spicy sleep life has been a lot less than it used to be. He's tired all the time. He's been pretty irritable, etc. I told him that there was nothing to be embarrassed about and how it doesn't make him less of a man, and to go to speak to a doctor to try and talk through it and figure out a route to take, and I'll support him. I did say that while I want to be there for him and that I do think he is a man, that doesn't excuse the comment that he made. How it's not okay to speak to his wife that way. And if he wants to feel like a man, he does also need to act like a man and be honest in all aspects of his life, both with me and his friendships. He did give me his phone and let me look through their past conversations because I mentioned I felt weird about the video, the spicy video. Their messages were pretty dry, mainly talking about music and old coworkers. But while I did not find that video anywhere, I did find a group chat with the 3 of them from about a month ago where Cameron had sent Holden and my husband some partially unclothed pictures of a trans woman he was seeing. This upset me. I found it really disturbing and disrespectful that Cameron had sent this to them and that neither Holden or my husband said anything. They just carried on with the conversation like nothing had happened. And I feel like the fact that none of them are acknowledging it feels like they probably have done it before.
Like, you gotta put your foot down.
You gotta.
You gotta.
When I confronted my husband on this, he just said he ignored the photo and they moved on. That's not how that works. By the way, you should never move on from full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. There is a little bit left to this story, but any thoughts on what OP should do in this situation?
Break up.
Yeah.
Get out of there.
I mean, they are married, so it would be divorce. I do think you guys need to go to therapy because it is pretty concerning that he doesn't see any problems with this. Like, I wouldn't want to be in a relationship with someone who thinks this is okay to, 1, not tell you about, and 2, also just okay that, like, he's being sent this and not putting any boundaries up.
I just don't like this dude.
I don't like him.
Divorce.
I don't
Sign
like
the
him.
papers.
Gone. This is something I am still kind of struggling with. Do men send their friends, especially married friends, noodles or videos of women they're seeing? No, they shouldn't be. I don't like that I felt brushed off when I addressed that to him, but I am so tired of feeling crazy. I don't like to look through his phone or feel like I'm obsessing over his friendships. That has never been who I am, and I feel like I'm turning into someone who is and who overthinks, and it's honestly crazy. And folks, that's the end of that story.